everyone. It's me, Captain Logan. And look, it's Austin like day goes. And I feel like I've seen Austin in like 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Austin, we have a really exciting show tonight. This is quite an occasion. Welcome to the landmark big deal freak out 34,000 subscriber spectacular. I know a lot of YouTube channels are really anchoring to finally get to the 34,000 mark. And it's coveted. It's a thing that a lot of us jump out of airplanes for. And finally, we have achieved this monumentous goal. And I feel like after getting to 34,000, I can die happy, Austin. It was the tippy top, man. It was the highest that I ever thought we would achieve. And we sat in limbo for like 4 years. But we have finally done it. We finally got another like 74 subscribers and made it to 34,000. We'll never have to do another one of these. We'll never have to bake another cake. I'll never have to jump out of another plane. And I'll never have to make Austin do the thing that here in just a few minutes, I'm going to make Austin do.
Oh, no. Isn't 34,000 subscribers, though, when YouTube sends you a chocolate play button?
Yeah, I think so. And you're not supposed to eat that because then you don't have proof that you got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want it in the summer either because then it melts on the way.
Right. So everybody's trying to achieve that in like Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you live in like a cold place.
My chocolate play button is here. Anyway, well, all jokes aside, we have grown like a tiny bit this month, and that's really exciting. Although
I'll spill my drink. I'm so excited.
I say a tiny bit. It's like 1,400% over what it's been lately, according to the analytics of the channel. And I've got some more impressive numbers for you in case you're interested and curious. We usually average about 50,000 views a month on the channel overall collectively with what we've posted over the years and legacy stuff that people still are going back and looking at. We have a lot of time-sensitive stuff these days because of Captain Logan Show and that kind of thing. I think some of that show is kind of worth going back and looking at, but we do lead-in topics that are about news and things, and so those aren't evergreen videos, as people call them, in the same way as a Superhero Rewind is, and a lot of the old rewinds still get hit pretty hard compared to other things that we're posting. And lately, that's been happening even more. And I have a theory as to why that is, because for a minute, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, all of a sudden, we're hitting in the algorithm again with some older things. And unfortunately, not anything right now. We're still doing about as well as we usually do with our live content and that sort of thing. But the Superhero Rewind, the scripted rewind on Incredible Hulk, did 4,000 views all by itself last month. And I was like, why is that? That's very strange. And some of the Marvel Manias that had been hitting are hitting harder. And so some of that older stuff, but not all scripted content, some commentary stuff is doing really well too. And I was trying to figure out why, and I think I've pegged it maybe. I think it's, and I said impressive numbers. Let me say this real quick too. So usually we hit about 50,000 a month. We're over that by 19 or 20,000 right now, which is really cool. And I was trying to figure out why. I think it's because maybe YouTube added the podcast section, and several of our shows, they automatically toggled as podcasts, which is actually really cool. I didn't have to go in and do any work, and I agree with
That's nice.
The algorithm that, or the program, whatever it is, that YouTube put together for this. All of the playlists that they've said in shows are podcasts on our end, I don't disagree with. There's maybe a few things I would add, but they're calling the Captain Logan Show a podcast. Agreed. They're calling Superhero Rewind a podcast these days. Agreed. And the commentaries, the Manias podcasts. So that's really cool. And it's got its own YouTube's got its own page now for podcasts, so those go into the algorithm differently now because they're going after people that like to listen to podcasts, and that's really great. That's really positive. So Austin, there's a thing YouTube just implemented that I am 100% behind and liking everything about the way they're handling it so far. Isn't that nuts?
That is crazy, yeah. I have my own theory for why this is happening, which is you've been on hiatus, so I've just been watching a bunch of videos, so it like put them. They're like, people are liking this, throw it out, give it to more people.
That is what you mean? Just that you've been watching stuff?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
You're on hiatus. I gotta watch videos again.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks, man. I like to only partner up with people that are channel fans already so that they can suck up to me every video.
Yeah, so we can hype you up, yeah.
Yeah, that's really, my ego requires that. Like, the main thing you have to do in order to work with me regularly is just really like me. It's very important.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like Andy Griffith I'm like Andy Griffith in Facing the Crowd. Love me, Francis! Love me! Just pretend like your name is Francis.
Well, yeah, it could be.
I'm just gonna start calling you that, actually.
That's fine by me.
Everybody, welcome back, Francis, the Day Ghost.
You specifically have to do it that way, though. Like, it has to be Francis the Day Ghost.
Francis,
it can't just be Francis. Yeah.
The Day Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But in all seriousness, it is exciting to finally hit this landmark, to finally get to another 1,000 subscribers, because, like I said, we've been sitting here forever. We've never hemorrhaged subscribers, and but a lot of channels that have been around for a long time go through this, where at some point you'll just hit a wall, you'll kind of hit a ceiling, and a wall and a ceiling. You'll hit a wall.
They're connected.
Really, the problem is right angles when you've been on YouTube for too long.
Exactly.
But what'll happen is you're growing at a particular rate, and then after a while you'll develop more or less the audience that you're going to develop. And in my case, just sometimes the problem is not making the stuff that some people subscribed for in the first place as often, and so they're not as interested, they don't stay engaged. But like I said, we've never hemorrhaged subscribers, but we did kind of stall out for a long time. So we were sitting at 32,000 and then 33,000 for like 5-6 years. And I was just glad that we weren't going backwards too hard, and it was a little discouraging, certainly at first, because I was used to growing at least a little bit, but we've had such a dedicated base that's been with us for a long time, that such a healthy group, that I got over it pretty quickly, and I was able to just, I don't want to be like DC and Marvel Comics and just only cater to the folks that are here already exactly. I'm still trying to create things that if somebody comes in and likes us, they won't be lost. They'll still maybe have a good time with it. You can still grow, perhaps. But it looks like maybe there's, with this new podcast thing, the possibility that we could start bringing in a little bit of a new audience again, which would be very exciting to me after 14 years of doing this.
Yeah, it's like the YouTube equivalent of being 16, and you're like, well, I'm fully grown. There's no more growing for me. I got to get used to my size.
I have no chance at getting past 5'6" at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, my hope, when you said maybe it's the hiatus, and you were joking about you watching videos, I do worry about that, though. Not the you thing, but we do tend to gain more subscribers whenever I go on hiatus, and I've never understood why that is, but not to the rate that we did this like, I know 74 sounds like nothing. And that's just for the last 28 days. We did a little bit before that, too. We were at 0 forever. So, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of YouTubers have that. Like, I've heard that from quite a few people that, they won't make videos for a while and their subs will go up, and then they'll make a video and they'll drop a bunch.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because, you're not making anything and there's more people seeing it and subscribing, and then you put out something, and then there's people who get it in their feed that weren't watching anyways, and they go like, oh yeah, why am I still subscribed to this? And they unsubscribe. I think that's what that phenomenon is, but I don't know.
I think you're right, because the assumption you'll make as a creator is, well, why are people that just now showed up leaving? But you don't know that it's the same people that just came in.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
are leaving now. It cycles in and out.
That's always been my assumption for that, because I've heard that from quite a few people.
So when I say we haven't been growing, it's number-wise. It isn't that we don't have new subscribers. It's that we haven't gotten new subscribers at more of a rate than we've lost old ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I don't mean to just be boring and dry on the landmark big deal freak out 34,000 subscribers
This is
spectacular.
the analytical show.
It's Analytics, the podcast. No, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. I'm drinking. I don't drink beer hardly at all anymore with the diet I'm on and the workout all the working out I've been doing. But I decided to cheat today and do that. And I'm also going to take shots tonight for $5 super chats again. I did that a while back when we did, what was it?
It was the Christmas show we did.
It was the Christmas show. I keep thinking it was the second pirate show, but I did drink a lot on that show.
No, you got drunk on the first pirate show, and then you weren't on the second one. I think you still drank on the second one, because it's pirates, so you got to do some drinking.
And I grabbed the same thing I was drinking for those shows, by the way. I got the Malibu rum again.
Hell yeah.
Because that's pretty tasty.
But you were a lot more coherent through 2 than you were the first one.
Yeah, well, I got pretty sloshed, honestly, on that. But for folks that are interested and that haven't heard me talk about this, I have been working out with a personal trainer for the last almost 4 months, 3 months, 3 months. And that's been going really well, and I have I've been starting to bulk up a little bit, which is new for me, and I've been doing a lot of weightlifting and stuff, and I'm trying to get into shape for the movie that we're hoping to shoot, or start shooting anyway, by the end of this year. I've been diligently working on the script for that, and I want to say past the halfway point at this point. I probably should take another week or 2 off, but I'm not going to, so I'm going to try to finish it while I'm getting back to work. Hopefully that works out. But Austin, I don't know how long it's going to take us to shoot. It's looking like, unless a lot changes over the first draft, like it's looking like a pretty complicated thing to shoot. But
oh boy. Since you're gonna get all like in shape and like fit for it, are you gonna have a training montage where you work out with tires?
I thought about that. I am gonna do a montage. I thought about doing tires. What I'd really like to do is make it a blend of the BVS training sequence and the training with Stephen Amell and Arrow. But
I'm surprised you didn't go to Rocky at all with that.
Well, because I'm thinking of superhero stuff.
That is true, but Rocky's like the go-to training montage thing.
Of course.
That's why I thought.
Of course.
I thought that's where you were going.
But I'm trying to. But like, by doing a training montage at all, people are already thinking Rocky. It's not easy to make fun of Rocky because everybody's made fun of that. But when you're doing a superhero rewind movie and you're working out, it's really easy to make fun of the tire thing because everybody laughs at that, and the salmon ladder in Arrow. But the problem is, I know there's no chance I'll ever be in the kind of shape where I could do the damn salmon ladder.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
That's not gonna happen, folks.
When I was like 19, I think, I made like a 20-minute superhero short film, and I was like, the big thing I need to have for this is a big training montage. And it had to end with the shot from Predator where like the two guys like grab each other's arms, and it's like super muscular, except not at all in this video.
So you needed to get a personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly. That was my issue. Well, and that was part of the training montage, was I had a personal trainer, but I didn't actually bulk up.
So guys, we're just going to hang out and chat with you tonight. We'll do some Q&A if there's anything you want us to talk about. I'm going to do something fun with Austin here in just a few minutes that he doesn't know about. I'm going to be doing, like I said, shots for $5 Super Chats. I just got one, so I'll go ahead and take a shot here in a second. And Grady Childs asks, thoughts on the Picard finale. I actually just watched the first episode of Season 3 finally last night. So
whoa. How was that?
It was terrible. I absolutely thoroughly hated it.
Oh, that's funny.
It's more of the same. It's not any better than it was. Sure, it feels a little better because we're not mired in all of the convoluted nonsense I'm sure we will be later in the season, but that's how the second season started too. The first season was like, it wasn't good, but it was like, maybe this could go somewhere, and then it didn't. Like, I got no faith in it whatsoever. And I'm still getting, and I don't mean to just dismiss it out of hand because I hated 1 and 2, and I know it's got a new showrunner and all of that, but I'm still getting messages from people, especially after this last episode, where people are going, "No, Cap, you don't understand. Like, it's leagues better. It might as well be a completely different show. Like, it's TNG again. Star Trek is back." And right now, all I'm seeing is maybe slightly less cynical and mean-spirited, but there's still enough of that there that I hated. Fan fiction, like really bad fanfic. Austin. And I know you don't know as much about Trek as me, and you haven't watched all the movies. You haven't seen Nemesis, right?
That and Beyond are the only 2 I haven't seen. They're the only 2 movies.
In Nemesis, Riker finally gets his own ship, and it's called the Titan. And spoilers for Picard, but they bring back the Titan, and it's been refitted now to look like kind of. It's very Excelsior-esque. It's a throwback ship. It's like the Federation is current Hollywood, and they're making ships to throw back to their old ships, and it looks like a movie enterprise, and they call it Neo Constitution class. Neo Constitution.
Whoa.
That's really stupid, and that's not the stupidest thing in it. But I was just like. But the point I'm trying to make is, how fanfickish does that sound? Like, I can't take this stuff seriously. It's not Star Trek.
Yeah, the sense I got from watching the Red Letter Media videos is that it's not TNG, but like it got closer to like the TNG movies.
That's what they keep saying.
That's what they keep saying, but I don't know.
I mean, tonally, sort of. I gotta be honest with you. I wasn't with Mike about 50% of the time through, because I did watch their first video on that too, and I don't know what Mike's talking about through half of that. Sorry, I really don't. I'm not with him through some of it. Some of it I get what he's saying, and I'm with him, but
I've definitely had videos like that with them. Yeah,
he's being too charitable, and I don't want to like go to war with a channel that doesn't know who I am and won't care. But I guess I'll say this because I know they won't care. But Mike has this thing where he's completely dismissing Strange New Worlds, and I do not understand why. And I could get him actually giving that show a chance and not liking it for lots of reasons, but it's just storytelling wise, like it follows, it makes sense. I know what's happening. It is leagues beyond the other new Trek shows, and he watched 20 minutes of it and said, nobody on the bridge acts like a professional. I can't take this seriously. I'm not going to watch it. And he's dismissing it out of hand. Meanwhile, they got through 2 seasons of Discovery, and it's a spinoff of Discovery. And Discovery also has that. What is he talking about? I don't get it. And then he's like, and he keeps talking about how badly he needs, or how much he wishes Star Trek would, but he knows they won't do this, would just go back to the episodic model and not be really stretched out 10-episode movies. And then he even says in that video, and I get that everybody's saying that Strange New Worlds does that, but I don't care. And I'm like, but why though? It's not like he doesn't like TOS. Like why is it? Because like they almost stopped watching Picard and said they weren't going to keep watching them. Why did he decide to come back finally and go ahead and do 3, but he won't watch more than 20 minutes of an episode of Strange New Worlds? Is it because it's the same actors with TNG, but with Strange New Worlds, like it's easier for him to dismiss it because it's not the same actors? Like, I sort of get that if that's what it is. I don't understand, because
that could be, yeah.
He's always been like this with Star Wars, where he'll go, and that's what it sounded like with the Strange New Worlds thing, where he's like, well, people say that Strange New Worlds is doing that better, but I don't care. Almost like he's almost dismissing it like he does with Star Wars, like EU stuff, but it's not. But it's not that. It's still canonical Star Trek. Allegedly. I mean, I still can't look at it that way. Even that show, which I like better, I still can't think of it as canonical Star Trek.
Yeah, it might just be, like, as a thing, like, he just wasn't able to get into it. And maybe, like, with Picard, like, it's there's more of a connection there, so like it's easier to watch it even
But he
if it's
got
bad.
all the way through 2 seasons of Discovery. He turned it off after 20 minutes?
Well, that could just be like a breaking point thing. Like you got through 2 seasons of Discovery, and then there's this other one, and you're like, I don't
Look,
care. You
and
know,
I
like
get
I'm already
people,
done with that.
even diehard Star Trek fans having different experiences than I did, but my response to that was it felt 100 times better than it probably is just because it was watchable television. Anyway, that was a tangent, folks. Let me read Tom's super chat. Warner Brothers.
Cam's going off.
I am, man. It's just the gloves are off, folks. Warner Brothers Discovery promises to deliver only the maximum content, and they should know because their name is Max. Congratulations on your newfound success. Thanks. It's not really. I imagine we'll be right back to 33,000 like next week. And in fact,
I already unsubscribed during that rant, so we're already back down to 33.
You're probably not the only one either. Yeah. Yeah, we hit 34, and then I was looking at it this afternoon, and we dropped one, so it was 33,999 again. And I was like, oh, gotta cancel the special.
Tomorrow, oh, okay, it's back. Oh, no, it's off again.
I don't agree that Warner Brothers Discovery is delivering the maximum content. That would be Disney. They just got to throw everything at the wall. I guess they're gonna kind of reel that in though. And Warner still seems to be making ridiculous amounts of stuff.
Well,
so
and,
maybe he is right about that. I'm gonna take the shot now. Here we go. Here's this coconut rum.
Well, one of my biggest issues with Disney as a streaming service is that they only ever have like one show at any given time, where it's like, okay, now it's like The Mandalorian. If you don't like Star Wars, like, tough luck. That's the one show we have running.
So
okay, that's over.
That's
now
not,
it's Secret Invasion.
That's not accurate. They only have one of their 2 major tentpole franchises at one time.
That's what I mean. Like, they have like only typically like one big show. But
it depends on what you think of as big shows, right? Because they'll put, for instance, some of it, to be fair, does kind of depend on what you're interested in. Now, they don't have a lot of content coming up against each other all at once. You're absolutely right about that. But for instance, this next month, they're about to drop Mayhem, the Electric Mayhem show based on the Muppets, which I'm really excited about. I think it looks great. And you wouldn't think of that as a major show, but that's the only thing they're about to put out that I care about.
But is there anything else that they're putting out at the same time?
Well, because I guess Mandalorian is almost done or is done.
It's already done.
Okay, maybe you're right then.
It's the one show.
Okay, so maybe Mayhem. Maybe my Mayhem show will be the only show.
There you go. You proved my point.
I'm proving his point for him.
Because I don't think Secret Invasion starts till June. I think.
Yeah.
So.
And they've really slowed down on those, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might come back and check that out. It depends. Like, if people are liking it, and people that I trust like it, I might take a look at that. But I haven't been following like any of the Disney Plus shows in a while.
Well, Austin, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
How you said you've been going back and rewatching some old Geekfolution content. How far back have you been going? Like, what have you been checking out?
Just kind of going just like randomly, honestly. Like, not going for specific like types of videos or eras, just going like, oh hey, like this is a thing I'm interested in, like I'll watch the Geekfolution video of it. Just like stuff like that, more so.
See, again, he's doing that to try to keep his job because he knows if he butters me up saying he still watches the channel even though he's on the channel. Austin is still a patron.
Yeah, no, like I watched Darkman the other day, which I
appreciate you, buddy, by the way.
And then after I watched the rewind on it because I was like, I'm interested. Like I just watched Darkman.
Do I see anything interesting in that?
It is kind of funny because I don't know if you would agree with yourself on it now because I think you're like pretty harsh on Raimi's style in that. But I don't
really?
Yeah, because I get the sense talking to you now that you like that movie more than you did when you did the rewind.
Yeah, and I do like that movie. I remember complaining, and tell me if this complaint holds up. The only thing I remember saying in that video, and everybody remember this is like 12 years ago now, maybe 13. Yeah. It's in the first if you could break Rewind up into seasons, it's in like the first season or maybe the second season.
Yeah, that's only like a 10-minute video. Like it's back during that era.
I remember complaining that the moral of the story is spelled out at the end.
Yes, I think you did say that.
Does that criticism hold up? Is that true?
I didn't really have it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's just like a few things like that where I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine.
Don't watch the earliest rewinds, guys. I had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, okay. Well, what you don't realize is that you might, this whole time, Austin, have been studying for a test.
Oh no. I have to do a Geekfolution trivia.
I have put together a 30-question Geekfolution trivia test for Austin.
Oh no.
And bear with me, folks, because I just came up with this like an hour ago. It was like 45 minutes before the show, and I was like, we should do something cool and extra for the show. What should it be? Oh, yeah, I'll just write some Geekfolution trivia questions. So that's what I did. So we're gonna be a little bit self-indulgent here for our 34,000 spectacular. And you can play in the comments, folks, and feel free to help Austin out.
I was gonna say, do you want me to turn off the chat so I can't see? But
no, why don't you go ahead and leave it up, and we'll let you and the chat play together.
Yeah,
some of these
I have you guys both side by side, so if
cool.
You need...
Some of these will be harder than others, and I jumped around kind of everywhere.
Oh
and
boy,
a lot
this
of
really gonna show my ignorance.
A lot of this is like, what's the name of this series and things like that. But there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of just like small things that like that are definitely gonna slip through the cracks. So
well, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if anybody in the comments knows some stuff that maybe you don't, Austin. But hopefully this will be enjoyable. I was in a trivia mood, and I was like, we got to do some kind of trivia tonight. So here we go. All right, question number 1. Here we go. What was the first movie I reviewed on Superhero Rewind, Austin?
It was X-Men.
No.
X-Men. No. It was Superman Doomsday.
Superman Doomsday. There you go. Yeah.
It's 2, isn't it? It's in the first. Like,
X-Men
5.
is the second or third. I think Batman is 3, maybe.
Yes. Those are like all in like the first 5. Yeah.
Yeah, and then at some point when I came back and kind of relaunched it, because I'd been off for a long time during Spawn year, I came back and I re-reviewed Superman Doomsday.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you got the first one right. Well done. Question number 2. For the first year on the channel, this is so self-indulgent, this whole thing. For the first year, 3 shows were posted most weeks on Geekfolution. They were Geeks Not Nerds, Superhero Rewind, and what other show?
What was the third one? Oh, see, going back, because I mostly watched Superhero Rewind back in the day.
Yeah. Tom Atkins, that old channel you're talking about, is it still there, or is it defunct now? He says, I found Cap's old channel where he reviewed Star Trek as a monkey. I don't think that channel is still there, is it?
I didn't even know you had a secondary channel.
No, it wasn't a secondary channel. It was a channel I did before Geekfolution.
Oh, before Geekfolution. Oh, okay. Interesting. I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah. It was not, however, the only channel I did before Geekfolution.
Crazy. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to throw out Horror Movie Rewind because I don't know. Okay,
yeah, it's not Horror Movie Rewind because that didn't come out as often as Superhero, but the correct answer is Recommends. We had Geeks Not Nerds, and we had Recommends, yeah.
See, I lumped those two together, so I was like, it's got to be something else because it's just like Geeks Not Nerds.
Yeah, just so you know, it only gets harder from here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Tom Atkins, but is it... But I want to know if it's still up. Is it still, like, when you say you found it recently, or was that how you found us in the first place? Like, I want to know if that's still there, because I went looking for it at one point and I couldn't find it. Austin, what is the first video that Brandon appears on? And it was only in voice and behind the camera.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a How We Felt About that you and he did together.
No, that would have been much later than when he was first on the channel.
What year is it?
This would have been 2010, 2011. It's real early. It's still up. That's crazy. Thanks, Tom Atkins. Yeah, I reviewed 5 or 6 TOS episodes with the monkey.
Is it the video where you go to the theater to talk to people about Twilight or the second Twilight or whatever?
No, he wasn't there for that. But it was a video where we went somewhere, actually. It was the first Geeks Not Nerds that we shot outside of either of my or Vince's apartments. Mm-hmm. And we were at a restaurant. I can't think of what the restaurant was. It was a breakfast place. And it was the GNN where Vince and I talk about how we feel about swearing.
Oh, okay. Crazy.
Yeah, we did a GNN where Vince takes up for swearing, and I'm a prude, and I talk about how much I don't like swearing. Things change,
Classic old cap, yeah. There's some in the Darkman Rewind. It's like, oh, this violence.
Okay, number 4. What was...
I'm really sweating.
You got one of these right so far, yeah. Number 4. What was the first single-part Superhero Rewind to go longer than 15 minutes?
Was it Begins?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Begins, yeah. That was where we really jumped, made a big jump in length.
I remember that was like a longer one, but I was like, I'm like going through the playlist in my head. I'm like, I think it's Begins.
No, it wasn't White Castle, Robert Wilde. It was a Perkins. That's where it was. Number 5. Sarah did a few episodes of a series by herself. What was that series called?
I didn't even know she did a series by herself.
She did, yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't last very long. And of course, she's not on the channel at all anymore.
Sarah watches.
Sarah never really liked being on camera, and she did this behind the camera, but it was still kind of nerve-wracking for her, so she quit doing it. But people liked it, and it did really well. She did an action figure review show that was called Objectivity.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. I didn't know that there was like any sort of toy reviews on the channel. Yeah, man, you're really showing my ignorance.
They did pretty well. Oh no, that's. I mean, I don't expect you to know everything, but I was curious to see if you or anybody else would know some of these. Lucas Green Gap, you're really giving us challenging questions. Well, to be fair, it's difficult to gauge what's too hard or not because this is all like about me. So this is all just stuff I know because I'm
having to go back to like me at 12. I'm like, okay, what was I watching? And I was mostly watching Rewind.
In case you're just joining us, folks. Again, we've reached the big landmark 34,000 that every YouTube channel hopes to get to, and only a few of us manage it. We are doing $5 shots tonight, so if you would like to leave a super chat and ask us about anything under the sun, I will take a shot of Malibu Caribbean rum liqueur. So consider doing that if you're so inclined. And now,
say that again. And if you do it, I will yell shot like Lil Jon. So there you go. Extra bonus.
Number 6. Okay, these are getting too hard already. My apologies.
Oh no.
But there are some folks that will watch this later that will really appreciate the difficulty of some of these questions, because I guarantee you there's some folks that have been with us forever that will know a lot of this.
Mm-hmm. And don't cheat and watch so you see the answers and then write it all out in the comment to make yourself look cool.
Yeah, where you go. Questions 1 through 30, here are the answers. Yeah, they're in the video. Number 6. Me and Vince had an online radio show. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I did know that.
On 2 different websites.
Ooh,
Name either of them.
Come on, you had a radio show. I didn't know you. I don't know the names of them anymore, but I still remember when you guys announced that you were doing the radio shows, and I still remember the like setup you guys had when you guys were doing it.
Yeah.
What were the names? I have no idea.
So there were two online radio stations that we worked for. One was called Krypton Radio.
Oh, okay.
And the other was the Supervillain Network.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and that was Alexi's baby. He started them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that was him.
Number 7, in one of the first videos. So you are 2 for 6 right now. In one of the first videos that Jason appears in as a toddler, he says that there's a rock band in The Dark Knight Rises comprised of Bane and what other fictional character?
Is it a Batman character?
It's not a Batman character.
Oh,
he just starts making up stuff on camera.
I thought you were going to ask what the first video Jason was in. I was like, I think I might be able to get this, but clearly not.
I didn't have time to go back and research. I don't actually know the very first video. Oh, actually, I do. I do know the first video Jason was in.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember
Darth Vader?
Do you remember this? He was Lord Zed. He goes.
Oh, okay.
He goes. There's a rock band. He goes. Dark Knight Rises is a rock band. I was like, there's not a rock band in Dark Knight Rises. He goes. I said, who's in it? He goes, Bane and Lord Zed. All right. And that was the video where he came up with the term wapachine instead of washing machine.
Oh, I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, we got that on camera the first time he ever said it. And he did this for a long time. He was talking about how our basement had gotten flooded recently because we had a washing machine that malfunctioned and spilled over. And it flooded our basement. And he goes, water from the wapachine.
Sounds like a slur.
And then I started making Spawn here. And he used the same kind of scheme in talking about the fog machine. So the washing machine was the wapachine. The fog machine was the fopachine. Robert got that one. Good job, Robert. Number 8. This one's fun. Mr. Fusion, who, by the way, is just tearing it up on his YouTube channel. Everybody should check that out.
But is he at 34,000?
No, but he gets more regular, consistent views than I do.
And we'll see when he hits 34,000.
No, he's doing great though, and he's been able to make it his job. He's full time. He doesn't do anything else. Mr.
Awesome.
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him in a while. But the last time, it's funny. It's been a long time since I've talked to him. The last time I got on like an actual call with him, he was telling me about how he was working really hard to try to get to a place where he could just do that full time. And it wasn't too long after that I checked his channel and his Patreon, and I was like, oh, he's doing it. Like he's making this his full-time gig. Mr. Fusion won the first season of Who Reviews the Reviewers. I helped get him started. Yeah. How much money was the grand prize? Eventually, and I'll give you I'll tell you this. Eventually, we got it up to, I want to say, $500. I think the most I ever gave away was $500. But the first season, we started with only 1,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. Can you believe I had the audacity to do Who Reviews the Reviewers with 1,000 subscribers? But I did. I was
go right from the start.
I was broke. I did not have the $500 to give away. What was the grand prize back then?
And it's a money prize, you're saying?
It was a money prize.
I'm gonna say either $50 or $100.
It was $50.
Haha!
It was
first one.
It was $50. Mr. Fusion got $50, which he decided to use for a Dragon Ball Z box set that he was going to review. I'm pretty sure is what he spent.
And because of inflation, that's like $5 now.
Number 9. What was the first Geekfolution video that Eric appeared on?
Oh, it's the you guys talking about X-Men First Class, like what you guys think will be in that movie, like speculation.
That's right. It was a speculation video on First Class. Back when we thought Bryan Singer was going to direct it.
Yeah, because that I remember that because it was like Batman meeting Superman for the first time. I was like, whoa, these two channels that I like are connected.
Wow, it's a shared universe. It's crazy.
Like, actually, though, yeah.
I miss Eric. I know everybody misses Eric. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't talked to him in a while. Number 10. You are, I think you got 4 so far.
Yes.
4 for 9. You're doing a little better.
Yeah, a little bit better.
I think you'll know this.
Not a passing grade yet, but
I think you'll. Well, you didn't study for this. I think you'll know this. Number 10. Who scored Midwestern panels?
I actually don't think I know this.
Oh no!
Is it somebody that's on the channel, like that has been on the channel?
Yes.
Is it Brandon?
No.
I don't know. Brandon knows music.
Brandon plays music. He doesn't compose, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. That's what I figured, but I was like, I don't know. Take a shot in the dark because I don't know.
Okay. Jeff scored the Midwestern panels.
Course.
My stepdad, yeah. You know, the composer that I'm related to, yeah.
Yeah, no, of course.
I thought that was an easy one. I thought that was a softball one.
Duh.
Speaking of, number 11, what was the first Geekfolution video that the Jeff appeared in?
Is it when you guys did Harry Potter? Is it the first one of those?
No, that's a little later, but that was still pretty early for stuff he was on.
Yeah,
but this still would have been a couple years before that.
Is it something to do with Weird Al?
No. Huh.
No? Whew. I'm not sure then. What was it?
And I'll also tell you, before I reveal it, because this is just an interesting tidbit, this also happens to be the video that Dan's News first saw and got him to start watching this.
Oh, awesome.
Which is interesting. But yeah, it was the Tick retrospective that we did.
Oh, okay. I didn't even remember that. So yeah.
Yeah, we sat outside and we had a big Tick figure that was sitting between us on a table.
I think you guys did one of the Weird Al videos outside too.
We did.
Yeah.
I think on his front porch, yeah.
Yeah. I think the first video I ever saw the Jeff in was Harry Potter, because I didn't know the Tick back then. So I probably didn't watch that back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, because you would have had no idea what you were listening to.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope this is fun for anybody else, by the way.
It's making me sweat.
Number 12. Well, it's just going to get worse, friend. Number 12. What was the Bat Chat called for the first couple of episodes?
Oh, it had a different name?
Yeah, we didn't call it Bat Chat right away.
Bat Talk? No.
No, it didn't even have Bat in the title. It was a title that actually made some people angry, and I changed it because they thought it was false advertising.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it?
This is one of those that's kind of fun to bring up just in case you don't know it, really.
Yeah.
It was Superhero Rewind Light.
Yes! I do remember that. I remember that, yeah.
Number 13, which is sort of ironic because I'm about to start doing a commentary series with Superhero Rewind in the title. Number 13, who voices the Doctor in Spawn Year who updates Sarah on Captain Logan's sugar coma?
Oh god, it's been so long since I've watched that. Who voices the Doctor? It's not Dan, is it? No.
No, because Dan plays Dan.
Because Dan plays Dan, yeah. But I was like, maybe it's... Because I remember there's like a whole thing with Dan and Sarah and that. So I was like, maybe that's connected, but...
With Dan and Sarah?
Isn't there a thing with that? No. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Sarah marries Doomsveds.
Oh, that's what it is. You know what I'm thinking? It's because... when you check in on them, it shows Sarah moving on, and then it cuts to Dan, who's like, Geekfolution's fine. It's better than it ever was. That Cap guy's gone. So I'm merging those two things together.
But this Doctor was voiced by a Dan. Dan's News came in and voiced that.
Oh, okay.
Number 14, who replaced Vince for Horror Movie Rewind, but only made one episode?
Rasco,
yeah, that's right.
Because I was so excited for it.
And he did a good job, and then he'd make another one. Number 15, Captain Logan interviewed, that's me, the creators of what multi-million subscriber channel in 2011?
And I have to know other YouTube channels? Interviewed another YouTube channel in 2011.
Yeah, a big one.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm going to know this when you say them.
How It Should Have Ended.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you interviewed them.
I did. They were great.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Was it through Dan's that you got that? Because I know that he does. Isn't it like voice work that he does for them?
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember if I even knew Dan's yet, or as well as I would a little bit later. I don't know if I can't remember if I was even talking to Dan's yet. But no, I just reached out to them.
Oh, okay,
And
cool.
I had a really small following, but they still agreed to do it, and we had a great time, and they were wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I could not convince them to do an episode on Batman '89, though. I tried really hard, and I couldn't do it. It's really weird that they never did that. Maybe they have by now, because I don't keep up with them that hard
Yeah,
these days.
I haven't watched How It Should Have Ended in like I want to say before I even finished high school, so like a long time ago now.
I still quote them all the time, though. With Spider-Man 2 especially.
Oh yeah. Did they? I don't even remember Spider-Man 2 one.
You do because you do it too. That's the video that we're always going back to when we're talking about Sandman. It's like, I have a daughter, and that makes it okay for me to break the law.
Oh, for 3, yeah.
Or for
yeah.
no, I'm sorry, not for 2,
No,
for 3.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
I guess I was thinking 2 because that's also got like the. No, that's also from 3. I don't know why I was thinking 2, but anyway, yeah, the like stop narrating, like all of that. Yeah, no, that's all 3.
Yeah, I want to say that was the first video of theirs I ever saw was the Spider-Man 3 one.
Yeah. And then I'm rusty, and then Harry Osborn shows up, and he's like, "Oh, buddy, old pal." It's so good. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're halfway there. After Ask the Trexperts was retired, Cap, Brandon, and Adam made a second Trek discussion series with what title?
Treknado?
Mm-hmm. That's right. We did a show called Treknado. 17. Who co-created Spawn Year?
Oh, Dan.
Yeah, Dan Torrey co-created Spawn
Because I
Year.
remember being like, Dan what did Dan do? Dan can't do anything.
Have you heard the story?
I don't think so, but was it something with like you guys were both just talking about like Spawn, and you were like, what if we did this?
Yeah, he's never really understood why he gets a co-creator credit with that. But if it weren't for that conversation, I would have never come up with it. And we fleshed some things out in that ultimately led to what Spawn Year turned into. And of course, it got a lot more ambitious, and it was a different thing. But I don't know. I liked crediting him because I thought that he was kind of integral to it even happening. But we were having a conversation one night, and we were talking about Tick Month, and I was like, and something about the discussion we were having led to one of us going, "Oh yeah, Tick Month. What if you had Spawn Year?" And that's how that happened. It also just looks more official when you have a TV show-esque thing that's like created by this guy and this guy.
You needed to have like a developed by credit too, where it's like created by Captain Logan and Dan, developed by Captain Logan and Dan.
Where are you at? Like 6 now, maybe 6, 7?
Something like that, maybe 7.
You just got the last 2 in a row. You've got at least 6, maybe 7. The Comic Vault, this is number 18. The Comic Vault started as a short segment in what now retired series?
Oh God. Because it wouldn't be Geeks Not Nerds.
You'll kick yourself when you get when if you don't know this, because.
Oh God, I mean, I'm kicking myself a ton.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. God, what would it be? It's not. Was it like 0 Hour or whatever? It's not that show, is it?
No, that's way, way later.
I was gonna say, yeah.
No, we're talking first couple of years. So the Comic Vault didn't begin
Oh,
as videos. It
oh,
was a
it's
segment inside of something larger.
was it like the number one thing
No, that's later
first?
too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not thinking because there's like been like 8,000 shows like that.
Well, there's been
So,
8,000 comic review shows.
yeah. I'm not sure.
But they were all born out of
Yeah.
Comic Book Late Night.
That's the one I was trying to throw out, but I was like, I can't remember the name. So I was like,
Sure.
number one something. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, we had Comic Book Late Night, which started as a thing I was doing all by myself and then pre-recorded and edited, and then it turned into a live show, and then with Tim Lyons as my co-host.
Mm-hmm.
Which never made any sense because Tim knew nothing about comic books, but it worked. It was great. And then, because he was announcing, but he would also help me do the pop culture segments, and it got less and less about just comic books as it went along. And then, eventually, because of that, I changed the name of it and the format a little bit, and we called it Geekfolution Tonight. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's why I was like, because I knew that there was like a whole line of things that go into that, and I'm like, but like which names come first? And I'm like, it's number one something. That's in there.
I've never tried to count the number of shows that we've started at various points because I'm scared to know.
Well, I was trying to flash back because there was an After Dark.
It's probably 78, right? Like
probably. Yeah. There's an After Dark where Eric makes you list out every single variation of the comic book show, and I was trying to go through my memory of what you named.
I forgot that he did that. Number 19, at the start of the 7 era, Captain Logan tried to promote himself to Admiral. He teased this in a video with what title?
Oh, I remember the video, but what was it called? Because isn't it something like you walk into like a light void or something like that? Or like you take your coat off.
Yeah, and this is a big hint. I take my not my coat, my Starfleet uniform off.
Yeah,
like the captain uniform,
mm-hmm.
and I drape it over a trash can.
Captain Logan No More.
Because I am mimicking the cover for Spider-Man No More. Yeah. There you
go.
There's your 8. We'll say you got 8.
You walked me through it.
It's probably 7, but we'll say you got 8. Number 20. You probably won't know this, but I wanted to throw this in here mostly as a tribute. What was the last video where we featured Tim Lyons before he passed in 2017?
Ooh.
Good job, Robert. Robert got that.
Yeah, I'm not sure because
Robert's known a bunch of these, by the way.
The only thing I can think of is when he died. You put up the Space Oddity cover, but I can't think of before.
Yeah, because that was the tribute I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the tribute video
the week that he died. Yeah. But there was one more video he was in the year he passed, just a few months before that, for our April Fool's Day video that year, and it was the fake commercial for 24 year.
Oh, I remember that video.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
I was really proud of how that turned out. That was right after Eric moved in. He helped me make that.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
There's a scene where he walks in with cereal and I forgot it and I throw his box of cereal. But Tim Lyons did the voiceover for me with that. It was great. 21, in Spawn year, Sarah played 2 other roles besides herself. Name either of them.
Oh, so I only have to name one? Or
you only have to name
both?
one.
Okay.
I'm turning Austin into an old man here. By the way, I'm still taking $5 super chats if you want me to do some more shots.
Wow, what is one of her roles? She doesn't do like the parody of like the Freak or whatever from Spawn, does she?
No, but I wish I'd done that. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Put that white wig on Sarah.
Yeah. Or have her play Cygor.
Oh, Sarah's coming.
Sarah's coming. Through the whole show.
It's gonna take her 50 issues. She'll get there.
She'll finally show up on the 50th anniversary.
So
is she the Coke Redeemer?
No, but you're close. So she was the Coke Angel.
Okay.
Who births the Coke Redeemer?
That's a little sexist.
Okay. No, Sarah was 8 or 9 months pregnant when we shot that.
That's
and
crazy.
I wrote her in, and obviously I made sure she was cool with doing it and everything. But I mean, she was of course very big at that time, and so if we shot her, it was very clear how pregnant she was. And I was getting, it was just kind of fortuitous the way the timeline was lining up, where we were about to start shooting the finale, or I had to start writing it anyway, and I already had the Coke Redeemer idea in place. And so I decided to have Sarah come in and play the Coke Angel that is pregnant with Doomsvents. And the whole thing gets really whacked out when you start thinking about it too hard, and you get to the finale where Sarah is married to Doomsvents. Like, when you think about it too much, it gets really messed up. Like, I got very dark with that show.
Cap, what are you writing?
I know, right?
This is a family channel.
I know. Oh, just wait till you see the script for the movie, man.
Oh no! If it's already got mothers marrying their birth sons, then it's gonna go farther.
And so there were only 2 reasons that I cast her for that. One was that she was that pregnant, and the other is because years before that, she had gone with me to a Halloween party wearing a costume that was a Coke dress. Like we found this at a store, and we kept it all that time. So I just happened to have a Coke dress in a closet.
That's amazing. It still fit after she was like pregnant.
Yeah, well, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but you had to be careful with how you shot it. Because it was obviously, but yeah, it fit well enough that we could shoot it.
No, I'm amazed she was even able to put it on.
To even put it on, yeah. No, it was crazy.
Absolutely.
But anyway, it was neat. It was neat of her to do it, because I was a little bit worried that it was kind of a, very, very strange, weird thing to do, and she nailed it. Like, it was weird, but she was all in. She was totally cool with it, and it was great. But like, what are the odds we would just have that when I'm writing this Mountain Dew versus Coke thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Robert, thank you, buddy. Just put in a $5 super chat. Cap, and this wasn't me begging for money. I wanted more of this. And
shot. There you go. There's my little John.
Are you gonna do that every time?
Well, yeah, I already said I would.
Well,
I spilled my drink when I did it.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of the $5 super chat, is you have to spill your drink all over yourself. But you need to advertise it more often, Mm-hmm. Robert Wild, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Cap, have you finished The Last of Us yet? No, I haven't. I need to. I keep forgetting. I've been working on doing I've been doing a watch through the latter half of Smallville lately, so that when I get there on the 24-hour streams, it won't have been a million years since I'd seen them. So I'm like halfway through season 5 right now, and that's what I've been watching lately. So I have not finished Last of Us. If not, have you or Austin watched anything cool lately? I mean, season 5 Smallville is okay compared to the rest of that show. No, anything else that I've actually been watching? I reviewed this the other day, but I actually liked the Power Rangers reunion special quite a bit better than I thought I would, and I had a lot of fun with that, and I'm kind of excited to watch it again. It's as always with good Power Rangers things, it's good for Power Rangers, but I was actually shockingly happy with it. But other than that, like TV wise, I haven't really been watching anything.
I've watched so much recently. I'm like, how do I condense? In terms of new things,
have you really?
Oh yeah. So I have Letterboxd, and I can see like how much I watch like from week to week. The first week of our hiatus, because I was like off work, Um, I by the Wednesday, I'd watched more movies that week than I had every other week in the year
Good
by like 3 or
Lord.
4. Yeah, I was just in like a rough place, so I was like just sitting around watching movies.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Good call.
so it
By the
was,
way, are you doing okay?
oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good now.
I mean,
Uh,
we've been talking all the time on text back and forth, but I haven't asked you about that in a few days, and I just
yeah,
want to make sure you were good.
yeah, no, I'm good. I definitely it was good that like was at the start of the hiatus, so I was like I just had time to breathe. Yeah, I'm good.
I don't want to be like horribly cryptic and make people
Yeah, I don't
wonder what's
care.
happening, but Austin had kind of a loss in his family.
Yeah, I had to put my dog down like right like 2 days into Cap's hiatus, and it like I was in a really rough place for a bit. But I'm a lot better now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I felt for you, man, because
Yeah, it was rough.
well, and I know it lingered because a few months ago you were worried you were gonna have to do it. You sent me a message and you were like, "Hey, I don't know if maybe tomorrow I'm gonna have to put my dog down." I was like, "Wow, that's crushing," and then everything worked out at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, we were able to get her on medication, and then it was fine. And then so actually, she was at my mom's place. Like that's where she stayed after I moved out, because my mom was like, "Your little brother's gonna freak out if you take your dog with her, because he's never known life without her." So like she has to stay here, and I was like, "That's fine. It is what it is." But she went away for the weekend, so we were watching her, and then my mom came back on the Sunday, and I was like maybe like 20 minutes away from packing up and leaving, and she just like drops down and has a seizure, and it was like, oh my god, like what the hell's even happening? And we were able to calm her down for like the rest of the night, and then I went home, and then it turned like throughout the night it turned into cluster seizures where it was just happening like every like 6 hours. And then so I called in sick for like the first few days, and then we had to put her down, and there was you could tell by like the next day that like she just wasn't there anymore. Like it was kind of already too late. And it sucked. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
That's really rough, man. I didn't grow up with pets,
Hmm.
and so it's not a thing that I was ever able to really relate to. And then a few years after my wife and I got married, we started getting pets finally. And I think about it sometimes where I'm like, I mean, dogs don't live obviously as long as humans, and you tend to outlive them. And so at some point, I'm going to have to deal with that. But worse, my kids will.
Hmm. Yeah, and I
And
think
I'm not looking
for
forward to
kids,
that.
like,
Like,
no, and I really hope for you guys that you don't have to make that call, because it is one of the hardest calls to like to be like I have to be the one to like end it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's one of the hardest things
I
I
don't mean to
think.
be morbid, but you'd almost rather them somehow die of their own accord, right? Like,
100%. And I think that's one of the worst things, because even though I was there like the next day, and I could see that she just wasn't there behind the eyes, like you'd
yeah,
even just tell, there's always that part of you that goes, okay, but what if? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you can never really shake
She
that.
bounced back before.
Exactly, yeah. And there's always that part of you that's like, okay, but like more time, more time. And that's when it becomes selfish, right? Where
Yeah.
it's not fair to them. So yeah. Sorry to hijack the show with
No,
that.
no, not at all. And I was trepidatious because I didn't want to like bring that up if you didn't want to talk about it, or make
Oh
it
yeah,
public
no,
if you didn't want people to know about
that's
it.
fine. Yeah, no worries at
But
all.
I also didn't want to skirt right over it where it's like I was in a really bad place. Now let's do more trivia. I wanted to just be like, Austin had something really unfortunate happen. He's okay now. Like,
You're putting me in a worse place with this trivia.
well, let's finish that then, shall we? First of all, let me read this comment though. Ranakin 9000, congrats guys! I found Superhero Rewind so long ago. Glad y'all are still going. We appreciate you popping in and still watching some. Thanks a lot, man.
Oh yeah, and for that super chat, good things I've watched recently.
Yeah.
I thought Renfield was pretty good. It's the superhero movie to beat this year, apparently.
I was thinking about which there's
I wouldn't
not a
have
lot of
said that.
contenders yet, folks.
Nope.
I was thinking about maybe going to see that and reviewing it with you if I could find the time.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not like groundbreaking or anything, like, but I was like, oh, this is fun. This is
But if you say it's
enjoyable.
basically a superhero movie, I should probably try to review it.
It is 100% a superhero movie.
Okay.
The new Dungeons and Dragons movie I also thought was pretty good, and I didn't think that was going to be any good based on the trailer.
Everybody's saying that. That's one of those weird cases, if it's good, because I haven't seen it, where the advertising wasn't doing it any favors.
Not even close. No. 5 minutes into that movie, I'm like, man, we actually built things for this. Like, there's like practical stuff that I'm seeing on screen that's really impressive.
The only thing I was getting from the trailers that would have given me any hope if I cared at all about that property was because I don't have a dog in any of that. So like if it looked really, because I'm not a fantasy guy, so like if it looked really fun, I might consider it. But it looked really kind of dime a dozen, phoned in fantasy action fare. But the one thing that I was getting from it was this cast seems like they're having a good time.
And you can tell, so apparently with that cast, they had them like put together like their character sheets and stuff.
That's really cool.
And you can tell because like the characters have like very clear attributes where it's like you can tell Chris Pine, like all of his strength is in like charisma and intelligence and not fighting because he can't fight anyone. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like you can see the breakdown of how their character sheets are.
Well, it's cool they let the actors create the characters.
Well, sorry, it's not that they created the characters; it's that they had them role play as it. Where like they put like a session together where they had them make their character sheets, and
yeah, but if they let the actors make their character sheets for a D&D thing, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. No, it's and that movie is also very Guardians, like it is like that kind of a thing. But I don't know, there was a lot of love clearly for that material, and I was surprised. And it's also bombing, so there'll be no more of that.
Yeah, that's really sad. But I'm gonna blame, at least to some degree, the marketing.
100%.
I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, no, the trailers were really
Jason
bad.
wanted to go ironically. He was like, "This looks so terrible, I want to go." And then people started saying it was worth watching, and he was like, "Okay, maybe now I want to see it unironically."
Yeah, well, I was like, that movie doesn't look very good. It's got 90%. Okay, now I kind of have to see it because I don't believe it.
And then you did.
And then yeah, and there's like quite a lot of creativity in the action, which surprised me.
Deadite John Kelling, $5.
Oh no!
Thanks, John. Congratulations. Here's a stolen bit. I mean, $5. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. This is, by the way, did I pull these out last time? I was doing shots on camera. This is, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on camera because it's super subtle. This is actually a Batman shot glass.
Oh yeah, I saw it when you were flipping it around.
Well, not a shot glass, but like a little shot solo cup. But it's you can see it. It's got a bat symbol there.
There you go.
Can you see that, Austin?
Yep. Oh yeah, well I saw it too when you were flipping it. Shot.
Why do you have to do it while I'm drinking?
Because it wouldn't be funny if I did it before or after.
Okay, so that's two movies that I've not seen that you have that sound like things I might want to see actually.
Yeah, this year's been pretty good so far. There's only 2 movies I've seen this year that I didn't like, and I think I've seen 10.
Were they both superhero movies?
No, because I still haven't seen Shazam or Ant-Man. That was the other one.
Yeah, because neither of those were great.
It's probably unfair for me to say that Renfield is the superhero movie of the year because I haven't seen the other 2. But I also don't really like either Ant-Man movie or Shazam.
It's only unfair for me to say because I haven't seen the apparently better movie. Because I've seen the not good movies, and I would agree that it's not easy. It's not hard to beat those. I don't know what else I've even seen this. Oh well, for me this year the best movie so far is John Wick 4.
That's my number 1.
I don't think you get any better than that yet.
Yeah,
from what I've seen, but I haven't seen a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Can I tell you this real quick? Mm-hmm. So Jason and I and Sarah were watching John Wick 3 because I was taking Jason through those so that he could see 4, and we only got through half of it a few days ago, and he got real tired and had to go to bed, and we didn't get a chance to finish it. So we finished it tonight, and Jason was sitting on the opposite couch from where my wife and I were, and he walks over when it gets to credits. So I had no idea how he was feeling through it. Except the first half, when we were watching it the other day, this is why I mentioned that, there were a couple of places where, because that movie, I didn't remember being as much more violent than the first two as it is, but it is because they get to a lot more like blades and stabbing and stuff than you had in those.
Okay.
And Jason had a tough time with some of that, and I wasn't sure how he'd feel about it ultimately. And then we finished that, we got to credits, and he walks over and he goes, "That movie was amazing." And now I'm super stoked to show him 4. And I gave him the option, because he and I are supposed to do a double feature review on Sunday with Tetris and Air. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and we still haven't gotten to it. And we were going to go see Air tomorrow, and I was like, well, we can put that review off one more time if you want to see John Wick 4. But he still really wants to do that biopic thing, so we're gonna wait and do that next week, I guess. But I was all set to put that review off so he could see 4.
Oh, that's cool though. Hopefully he likes 4.
Hopefully we don't hate Air.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't know. 4 is really good. It's my top movie of the year so far too. I was
really
a little
good.
worried early on because I watched all of them in bulk. Like, I hadn't seen any of the sequels, and then I watched 2 and 3, and then like 2 weeks later I watched 4. And the first act of 4 is kind of just the third act of 3, and I was like, uh-oh, have we kind of run out of steam here? And then after that, I thought it like cleared off, and it was awesome. But anyways,
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I was worried it wasn't going to justify its runtime, but I didn't really have that ultimately.
It's amazing. The last hour is nothing but action, and I think some of the John Wick sequels have issues where the action scenes become too long.
Yeah.
And 4 has it in the beginning, but I don't have it at all in the last hour, and it's like nothing but action, and it all feels like you can't cut a single frame. Like, it's all awesome.
That staircase thing is going to be quintessential.
It's so
You've
cool.
never seen anything like that in anything.
And every single John Wick impersonator does the stairway fight, and then John Wick 4 comes in and goes, it's not the stairwell thing, where it's like the square that like goes down, kind of like what Daredevil Season 2 does.
Yeah.
It's just like a big stair that goes just one way, and they do it like way better than any of the imitators. It's really cool.
Okay, let's finish up this quiz, shall we?
Yep.
Somehow we've been broadcasting for an hour and 13 minutes already.
That's crazy.
I don't understand that. I mean, time moves differently for us on stream than it does in regular life, I find.
It keeps on slipping into the future, I think.
That's true, and I think it also just forces you to speak mostly in song lyric.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. A story of a girl.
You've got... Yeah, and when we get finished here, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
But you can't stay here. We got 9 more left. Here we go. What was the name of the Power Rangers commentary series Cap and Jason did before Morphin Mania?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You're not Power Rangers guys, so you probably never looked at that.
But Power Rangers.
Jason and I, when he was a lot littler, we did a show, and we're talking about doing more Power Rangers content after the review we did the other day because we had so much fun with that, and we had a really good crowd for it. We did a show called Go Go Cap and Jason.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Now that you say that, that's another one where I'm kicking myself because I didn't know that.
That's all right. You got 7 right. What season did Cap make it to in Counting Crypto Freaks before it was rebooted as 24-hour streams?
Was it 3?
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, it's either 2 or 3.
I'm about to tie it finally at the beginning of next month. And quick plug for that, Counting Crypto Freaks: The Revenge Returns. Right now the plan is the first week. So the first Friday of May. Number 24. What was the name of the YouTube series Cap attempted before Geekfolution? And not counting that Star Trek channel we were just talking about, because I forgot about that, but there's another one that he resurrected for a few episodes on the Geekfolution channel starting in 2015.
I don't know, because like I said, I didn't even know you had other channels before Geekfolution.
This you'll probably know about.
Mm-hmm.
I did a series that I kind of just did for my family, but I made it like kind of like a kid show with the monkey, and it was called "I'm the Monkey and You're Not," and I brought it back on the channel for 5 or 6 episodes.
Oh, okay. I remember the monkey
through
puppet.
15 and 16. But yeah, he had his own show, and he did some songs with Jeff. We did some impromptu songs, and we did a song called "Don't Remake the Crow."
It's a perfect kid song.
Well, at that point it wasn't really a kid show. It was more for you guys on the channel. But Jeff, we didn't plan out anything. It was all improv, and Jeff is such a great piano player that I could just give him a style and he'd roll. And I just gave him this concept with the monkey, and like when I get with the monkey, I get very in character, and it's just the monkey talking to Jeff, and Jeff takes it seriously enough that we can just kind of roll together. And the monkey's like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the show. We're gonna do the song. It's called Don't Remake the Crow, because they're gonna remake the Crow, and I freaking hate that." And Jeff's like, "Okay, what kind of style is it?" The monkey goes, "It's a ballad." And so he plays this like sweeping piano ballad that sounds super sad. It's like, "Don't remake the Crow," and it was wonderful.
And what's amazing is that you could release that again today, and it would just be just as relevant.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because it's been in development hell for like 20 years.
I think they're finally actually shooting it.
I think so too. Don't they have? Oh, well, if they're already shooting it, I assume they already have a lead actor.
Okay, so the melody I just did is the wrong melody, because that was actually just "Don't Download the Song." But
I was gonna say
it wasn't
yeah.
"Don't Download the Song." It was
But
its
that
own
was
melody.
also what I was thinking of even before you said it, which is even funnier. Because in my head I was like, "Don't."
I would play some of it for you, but the way we're set up right now, you won't be able to hear my audio. But I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, I'll definitely listen to it after.
I was really proud of that. We did it in one take. It's got a bridge and everything.
That's so awesome. He was just able to like wing that out or whip that out.
Well, and that I was able to. I mean, it works because his piano playing is so great. But I'll give myself a little bit of credit and say I didn't break character, and I kept coming up with the lyrics. Thank God, we were able to get through it. 25. What was the last movie reviewed so far on the scripted version of Superhero Rewind? It's been a year and a half, couple of years since I've written one.
Oh, and you know what? You know what the worst part is? Is I just went through the playlist, looking to see if there was any movies that I missed when putting together the definitive list. So I'm like, I can see it in my head. What was it?
If you can't come up with it, I will give you a hint that will probably give it to you.
Okay, what's the hint?
Okay, the hint, and then I'm going to take another shot. And by the way, I am starting to feel this a little bit. This is going to be shot number 4, I think, and I'm drinking beer on top of it.
I want to say it was 3, unless you did one before the super chat.
No. This will be 4 because this is the 4th super chat.
Okay, I thought this was only the 3rd one.
This is the 4th super chat. We had one from Tom at the beginning, and then we had one from Robert, and we had one from somebody else, and then John Kelling, and now we've got one from Super Billy.
Oh, okay, there you go.
That would be 4. I just proved it with math.
Who taught you to count? Oh no, that's not what he says. It's something like that.
Who taught you how to count? I think is the line. Yeah. Is that from Dark Knight?
Yeah, it's Dark Knight
with Scarecrow.
The gun thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Not with Scarecrow. It's the bank scene.
Right. That's why it's at the beginning with the bank scene, and then right after that is the Scarecrow part, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not wearing hockey pants.
I used to quote that so often in high school. I used to do the Batman voice, like, constantly. And
Okay.
like all my siblings thought it was funny, so they'd be like, "Do the Batman voice!" They'd get me to do like little improv skits and stuff.
Oh, Robert Wild's got it. You guys are playing together, so
Oh, it's Justice League,
yes, it was 2017 Justice League.
of course.
Yeah, because I did that immediately after BVS, after the 4-part 5-hour BVS review.
Which is funny because you did that specifically so you could do Justice League because the Snyder Cut was coming out.
Yeah, and then I spent that long on it.
Because I remember you being like, "Oh man, I got to get BVS over and done with so I can do Justice League."
In my defense, though, I decided at that point to do the movie chronologically, and I did it in a month.
Yeah. No, it wasn't too bad. And you still got it all done in time to do Justice League when the Snyder Cut came out.
But you can understand how that basically like burned me out and broke me, and I went, I'm going unscripted for now. Like I couldn't even.
Especially because you're going to do like the full DCU. You were like, I'm going to do BVS, I'm going to do Suicide Squad, then Wonder Woman, then Justice League. And then
BVS I forgot I talked about that.
Tuning up, and I was like, yeah, maybe you should just jump to Justice League. Like,
I'm an idiot. That would
Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad aren't big enough of a deal to Justice League. You can just skip to it. It's fine.
No, and those all would have been like monsters to deal with.
I guess. Maybe.
Well, I just mean they're big movies. Like, however you feel about them, I would have had a lot to say about each of them. Writing, like, there's no way any of those reviews is less than 8,000, 10,000 words. Wonder Woman is easily an 8,000 word review, and Suicide Squad, I mean, unscripted, I did 215, 220 on it, I think. Like,
I didn't even remember that you did a rewind unscripted on Suicide Squad, yeah?
Yeah. I was pretty happy with
my
how that
memory's
turned out,
so
too.
bad.
It was, I don't know, relatively early with those. Anyway, let me do the shot and do Super Billy Super Chat. Thanks, buddy. Super Billy, $5 Super Chat. Congrats, fellas. Through the ups and downs, this channel has entertained and helped shape me throughout my adolescence. You guys are invaluable. Well, I appreciate it, man. And down the hatch once again. Here we go.
Shot, 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 shot.
At what point am I gonna start expecting it?
I don't know. I was like,
it surprises me every time.
I was grinning the whole time because I'm like, Cap knows he's holding off because he knows I'm gonna do it.
I totally forgot because I'm stupid. Okay, it is starting to affect me just a little bit, and I also gotta say, yeah, no, I turned into John Linnell when I start drinking too much. I was gonna so John Linnell is one of the band members of They Might Be Giants, and he does this really amusing thing with his hand very often in live shows and some in music videos. But there's a couple songs in particular where when he's at the keyboard, he's playing with his left hand and he'll be singing. He'll just start doing this, and it's fantastic.
Cap, every time you do a shot, you should then cough and go, "This is the beginning of the ruination."
What is that a reference to?
It's that oh god, what's his name? Larry King interview with Dan Aykroyd where he tries his vodka and he takes it and he's like, "This is the beginning of the ruination." I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Dude, I saw this clip the other day with Larry King. It's so great you brought this up because I would have had no reason to ever talk about this. Like this 29-second clip with Larry King talking to I don't actually know who it was. It was a voice actor, but not one I know.
Is it the DuckTales thing?
Yes, you know about this?
Yeah, so that's one of the main guys from Community. Yeah.
Okay, so he's sorry. I'm starting to fade a little bit because I'm drinking and I'm not used to drinking as much, and also I don't eat as much as I used to, so I'm more on a empty stomach. And so yeah, it's gonna affect me more. Look forward to it. Strap in.
Yeah, that is one of the greatest interview clips I've ever seen.
I didn't know it was possible to be as out of touch as Larry King is in that interview because he's like, what is how does he word it?
He goes, what is like a luxury that you can't live without?
Yeah, what's a luxury you can't live without? And he goes,
Danny
coffee.
Pudi's like, coffee.
And Larry King goes, that's not a luxury. Anybody can get coffee.
And he's like, socks. I like my socks.
And he's like, that's stupid. Everybody has socks. And then then he goes, the actor goes, okay, so what's a luxury to you? And he goes, and without skipping a beat, he goes, private plane. And then and then the guy goes, I was on DuckTales, dude.
No, that's a classic. Yeah, it's one of the main actors from Community. He's in Winter Soldier. Cap. He when they go to at the beginning of the climax, when they go to the Shield base, he's the Shield agent that lets Cap and them in. When Cap does his big speech to to Shield. Yeah.
Okay, so there's been a huge difference between shots 3 and 4. And like I just took it, but it is rewiring my brain chemistry. Like
Cap's looking at his quiz and the letters are all flying away.
I'm gonna start reading 3 of them simultaneously. 26. You just have a few more left here, Austin. What was the Captain Logan show called for its first few episodes?
Oh God, it had a different name?
It did.
Does it have news in the name?
No.
No?
No, the Captain Logan show is something of a joke title.
Oh, okay.
When
I remember when you and DJ started it, but I don't remember it having another name.
Yeah, well, DJ comes in quite a bit later.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like 50 or 60 in before DJ comes in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, do you do it with Danny Nixon first? Yeah, okay.
But I did it by myself for the first few.
Oh, okay. It's not like Captain's Log, is it? Because I know you did like the Captain's Log news segments before that.
Yeah. No, it's not that. I called it
Geekfolution Live?
I called it the Live Open Forum.
Oh, okay. Captain Logan show's a way better title.
It's a way better title, but yeah. And I felt like it needed a better title than that, which is why because the thing is, the Open Forum thing, it wasn't supposed to be a series. It was just
like a thing,
what I call a one-shot thing. And then I decided to keep doing it because I was surprised by the turnout I had on a Wednesday afternoon at 2:00. Mm-hmm. And eventually, of course, it became an evening show. But for a long time, it was in the afternoon, or at least for the first, I don't know, few months. And anyway, Open Forum was a segment that I would do on live shows when I took Q&A, or when I did, Q&A questions. And I joked for a long time that I didn't want Geekfolution to just be the Captain Logan show. Mm-hmm. And finally I went, I'm doing this thing, and at the time it was by myself, and it's just Q&A, and it's, it's kind of self-indulgent, and I was like, whatever, I'm going to finally lean into it. We finally have a thing called The Captain Logan Show. And you've got all these podcasts and radio shows with the host naming them, and where he does most of the talking, and if it's live, he's talking to the audience and taking questions, and I was like, it's not going to look pretentious, this is what everybody does. Mm-hmm. But when I started the channel, it wasn't just me, I always had a co-host, and Vince and I did it together for the first several years. So at this point, I love you, I love DJ, I love Connor, but at this point, if I, had to go solo, I would feel way more comfortable with that than I ever did before. I still certainly rely quite a bit on co-hosts, but it's not me and another guy, or even me and a big cast of characters. Like, I do this full time, and then I've got friends that come in and do it as a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, so then I felt a lot better about calling it the Captain Logan Show.
And of course, before Live Open Forum, it was a segment on the Tracy Ullman Show.
Right, exactly. I should have eaten a bunch of crackers before I started, pretty clearly. Folks, I'm still taking $5 shots.
And I'm still screaming shots if you got them.
if you want to see me get completely incoherent and get to a place where I'm in the middle of answering a question, then I just stop and go, I'm sorry, what? $5 shots.
If you want to see it become the Captain Logan strip show, just keep sending them $5.
I mean, I'll take this shirt off. I've never done it.
That's what he says on 5 Shots.
I've never done a shirtless show.
No.
And I don't think I ever would. I don't think I'd do that.
No, because it's just kind of weird.
I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Because people are like perverts online. Like,
yeah.
I don't trust it. Like Billy the Kid Lawrence, Slipmaker, Robert Wilde, Tom Atkins ass, all these perverts in chat here.
Austin. Slipmaker, by the way, has a pretty great established channel. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
yeah, because I saw his channel from when he applied for the game show.
Oh wow, I don't realize that. Yeah, he's great for following us. He gets way better view counts than I do.
Cap's drunk enough, he's jealous.
No, not at all. It's just sometimes I get surprised, like him and Dan's News and guys like that pay attention to us. He does like series overviews of things, but scripted, polished stuff.
Yeah, I think
I did more of before I had 5 kids.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of like Breaking Bad stuff, right?
Yeah. He had a big was it a Better Call Saul video not too long ago?
Mm-hmm.
I have not actually watched it yet, but I saw that it was there. Why? That was a very good impression of a clock, though.
You're welcome. That can be added to our list of sounds we do on After Dark.
On the next 60 minutes.
Oh, now I lost it, so now I'm trying to do a clock.
Okay, here's another trivia question. Are you ready? What movie did Cap, Dan, and Eric do a commentary on in person together?
Ninja Turtles 2. Out of the Shadows.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was saying it before
I had to let you finish because it doesn't have 2 in the... Oh, no, I have to take another shot. The way I'm feeling right now. Oh, no! Slipmaker, yeah, I had the Joker Smilex music playing in the background of my audition tape for the game show. Also, good call on the pervert thing.
I mean, your name is Slipmaker.
Good call! He's Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. He's like, agreed?
Agreed.
You guys, this is a mistake. I should not do more of this.
Agreed.
Whew. I'm not going to put quite as much in here, I don't think.
What was the super chat say?
Kando Tor, $5 super chat. Everybody in all caps.
Rock your butt.
I don't know what that means, but that's what he wrote.
I think he's trying to say Backstreet's back. All right.
Slipmaker just referenced 89, so I'll just put in a quick plug for the first episode of the Superhero Rewind commentary project Monday night at 8 Central. I'm very excited about it. I don't totally know what it's going to look like yet, but I have been watching the movie and researching for it, and I'm gonna show up, and I'm going to talk about story as much as I can get away with the 89, and it's gonna be pretty impromptu. And I'm going to do it live, and I'm going to chat with you guys while I watch the film, and it's going to just be me and the movie for the 2-hour duration of the film. That movie actually is a little more than 2, isn't it? Isn't it like 2:12?
Yes.
It's a little long for that kind of movie from that period.
Yeah, because when we did the commentary on it for April Fools, I did not realize that it was...
You mean when I did it?
Yeah, because I was like, Big Trouble in Little China is probably about the same length as 89.
And it wasn't.
Not.
What if I can balance the shot glass on my microphone?
You should balance it with your mind.
Okay. I don't want to do this, dude. This is gonna be 5, and I'm on too much of an empty stomach here.
We're gonna see Ralph on on camera.
No, I don't think I'm gonna throw up, but it's getting in my brain. Certainly. Sometimes I do it on purpose. Robert Wildcat's goal is to do 89 commentaries for Batman 89. I'm getting closer and closer to a point where I'm just gonna go, you know what? Screw it. We'll do 89 Batman 89 commentaries.
You're gonna get there eventually.
Do you know what this is gonna be? This will be 13.
That's crazy. But it makes sense. Shot. But it makes sense because you did that whole week.
Sorry, what?
I don't know. But unlike the crowd, I know what the second one is, and it's going to be an exciting rewind show. So
I told you what I was thinking of. No, I actually am probably going to do that.
I figured it wouldn't change, but you never know.
This was a terrible idea. Before the show started, I was going to make it $10 super chats just so I didn't have to do as many. And then we only had like 6 people at the beginning, and I was like, I'll make it 5. Nobody's going to show up.
We got half price shots. It's a Friday, baby.
Number 29. Oh, we only have 2 more questions left. Maybe I won't slur them so much that you won't be able to understand them.
What?
Shut up. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
You remember my you remember my Smallville soundboard? Shut up!
Oh yeah, you did that every time I spoke.
Not every time, just most of the time.
Like Cap.
Oh, the first time I did it, you were devastated.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. You just went. That was your reaction. You were just like, "Wow, Cap."
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments with you on camera. Okay, here's the question.
With the Smosh anthem.
Number 29. I'm curious to see if you can do this. This is the most self-indulgent question on the list. Are you ready?
Okay.
How many tattoos do I have?
I thought you were going to say how many kids do I have, and I was like, uh-oh.
How many kids do I have?
Is it 13?
I'll give you a hint. I have more Batman 89 commentaries than I have children, and I have more tattoos than I have
89 commentaries.
89. No, children.
Oh, okay.
I have more tattoos than children.
I said 13, which is how many 89 commentaries you have.
Slipmaker, if slurring stopped anyone, I wouldn't have a channel.
So I'm guessing it's not that. 9?
9!
Oh, yeah, okay, that is?
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, first try.
Way to go, first try. I've got the Geekfolution tattoo on this arm.
Which is weird, because that's typically the one I forget, and it's weird because it should be the one that's like the most obvious.
Yeah.
But maybe because it's your first one? I don't know. Like, it's the one that's like the farthest back.
Well, and it's the only one that's not related to a property. Because the rest of them are all pop culture things. And this is a logo that DJ made.
So
sorry, what?
But it's also like the thing you do, so it should be the most obvious.
Yeah.
But it's like the biggest one I always forget.
And then the second one I got is Gold Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't keep doing these in order, but I've got Sonic and Knuckles.
And you got Bubbles.
Got Star Trek. I've got Bubbles on my right leg.
And you got the Tick.
Yep.
So how many are we at? Oh, and the bat symbol.
So yeah, the Tick is here, and then the Nightfall symbol.
The Nightfall symbol is also one of the ones I forget.
Yeah. Well, you never see it because it's so far up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have to wear muscle shirts.
Like the Knuckle, the Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, like you guys see these all the time.
Yeah, well, especially that because the way you sit and talk, it's the Sonic and Knuckles one comes up more. But That's
Yeah,
definitely like the most in your face
and
one.
even when I have overshirts on, sometimes the sleeve comes down and you'll see these. And then I've got my Knight's tattoo here,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
and then I've got my new Smallville tattoo.
Oh, I either forgot or didn't realize you had already gotten it. I knew you were going to get it.
Did I not send
I
you a picture of it?
I don't think you did.
I
Or
thought I
maybe no.
did.
Then you probably did, but I just don't remember.
But yeah, this is my wife's name. For anybody that doesn't know, this is my wife's name in Kryptonian from Smallville. So that's
And
an
that was like the
S.
first tattoo you wanted too. Like going all the way back. Like you can go back to After Dark #1 and you're talking about the Sarah tattoo.
I've talked about it forever. And you know why I finally did it?
Why is that?
Because I did the first stream for Counting Crypto Freaks The Revenge, and I went, God, I really want that tattoo now.
I still think you should have gotten it on the throat, but that's a fine spot there.
Well, what's cool is I've got these two tattoos and space in the middle of them to do the same thing on this arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking about going and I was going to do a full sleeve here, but now I'm thinking about doing the same thing that I did here and doing
with the kids.
The first initial of each of my kids' names, because it's the same character count. It's 5.
Have I ever told you about that with the wrestler, The Undertaker? He was one of my favorite wrestlers as a kid. Because I was into wrestling for like 2 or 3 years, and he had his wife's
He was
name
my favorite
across
when
the
I was
throat.
a kid too. For the 3 times I saw wrestling.
Oh yeah, well, because he's so awesome.
Yeah, well, he's got a really
such a good-
badass name, right?
He's got a badass name and persona. Like it's that kind of like horror-ish like thing. Like it's just really cool. But he had his wife's name across
I'm
the
still
throat.
taking $5 shots.
And the kid's name's on the side. And then he got a divorce and he just had like lines put through the wife's name.
You did tell me about that. You just put lines through them.
Yeah, it was just like a tattoo over it.
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
And that, kids, is why you don't do that, especially on the throat.
Okay, we have one question left.
Mhm.
The last question is...
The hardest question.
What was the first game I played on the platforming hour? And the hint is... It wasn't a platform.
When would this be? Do you remember?
Probably 13 or 14? I was definitely in my first house past the apartments.
Okay, well, I definitely know off of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to help you or anything.
No. I'm just trying to think. The first game video thing that I ever remember watching you play was the Deadpool game.
Oh, yeah, that was quite a bit later.
But it wouldn't have been that, yeah.
No, but I'll give you another hint and say Brandon was actually there for this one, too. He was there for the Deadpool reviews, but he was actually sitting next to me, and I was teaching him how to play the game I was playing.
Yeah, because I won comment of the week off of Deadpool.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I was gonna put in a plush Captain Logan question, and I forgot about it.
I can't remember if I've told you this before, but when I won, because I did like a little response video, but don't even try to look that up, please. Because my dad watched all my videos back then, and he was like, "Oh, you did this response video. Like, what was the original thing?" So I was explaining it to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay. Like, I'll look this up." So he found the video of the comment of the week, which is done by a puppet, and I was like, "Oh, he totally thinks I just watch weird puppet videos." That's good.
It's like, no, that's not the main thing that happens on this channel. Puppet Captain Logan.
Yeah.
What's weird is
I don't
Puppet
think my
Captain
dad's
Logan
ever
wasn't
looked at me
even
the
a
same.
puppet.
No, he's like a little plush.
Yeah. He just had a stick behind him, but he wasn't really a puppet. He wasn't a hand puppet or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think my dad's ever looked at me the same.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I answer this question real quick?
Yeah.
Robert wants to know, where is plush Captain Logan? I don't know.
He got a mind of his own.
He's in a box. No, it's just, since we've moved, I haven't found him. He's in a box somewhere. I don't actually know where he is.
You should.
I
You
thought
should
about
try
getting
to do
another
that.
one made though, because he was starting to kind of fall apart. Like,
You should just merchandise them. Do like Cap on the Tap or something like Elf on a Shelf, where it's
dude,
like you.
I actually feel like if I made plush Captain Logans, I could probably sell like 6 of them, and it would be really exciting.
You should sell them for like $300 a piece. Get your money's worth.
Limited run. I
Yeah,
should
exactly.
get Grace to make me more Captain Logan pop figures and sell those.
Do those at like 800 a piece.
Yeah, and people might actually. I'm not saying anybody would buy them, but they might be more okay with that price. Where they'd be like, I mean, you know, they're pop figures. Pop figures are expensive for some reason.
And you can do like 8,000 variants, like Batman, where you can do like a Rainbow Captain Logan and Zebra Captain Logan.
Yeah, and
Zero
then
and
I
R
could
Captain Logan.
collect Captain Logans.
You should do
That would
Zero
make
and
me
R
very full of
Captain
myself.
Logan and only make one, and then talk about how it's really limited, so that anybody that wants one can't have it.
Yeah, it's worth $50,000, and
Yeah.
we also made like a 5-foot tall one.
Life-size Captain Logan.
Well, do you know about the 1.5 foot tall Batman pop? Is
I
it a
don't
foot
think
tall?
so.
Is it a 1.5 feet? Do you know about this?
I don't think so.
So I have been back and forth on buying that forever because I'm like, well, I don't feel the need to collect keychains or the tiny ones.
Mhm.
You know, like I've
Yeah, it's like a little
collected
different thing.
just regular sized Batman pops. Why do I think I need the really big one? And you know the reason? It's because when people come in here, they'll be like, holy crap, it's a huge Batman pop. Of course I want that. I don't know where the hell I'd put it,
He's like a little hobbit.
but of course I want that. But yeah, when it came out, it was $100, and I was afraid that it would get hard to get them. There's a couple stores I've walked into, I still find them occasionally in person, and my rule with pops is I don't order them. So I need to be able to actually, because otherwise I'd go crazy and I'd buy too much at once and I'd spend a lot of money. And so and it's been fun to collect them that way. Like, I intentionally don't keep up. I don't know what's coming out until I go to a store and I find them. So there's probably ones I've missed here and there and stuff, but it's been more fun just staying offline with this and the thrill of the hunt and kind of forcing myself to go back to 1996 or something. And but with the giant Batman pop, I've seen it at a few stores, and I still will see it for as little as like 120. It hasn't gone way up in price. So I don't know, man. I think if I've got the cash, the next time I run into one, I will probably go ahead and get it.
So, is your end goal for the Batman pops to eventually bury them and then dress up as a Batman pop to prove that you're better than the Batman pops?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured. I figured that's where you were going.
No, I'm really out of space for him now. Like,
Yeah, you were showing me your shelf the other day, and like it's pretty packed.
it's getting crazy. You ever felt like a completionist just by having more things than you have the room for them? Where it's like, I know they made more of this, but I'm complete in that I have as many as I want. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is a complete collection. No, it's not. There's more there. No, you don't understand. I can't put them anywhere else. It's complete.
It's done.
It's done, friends.
But what about the Brave and the Bold movie, Batman? It's done.
Tom Atkins says, I really want to see a zebra Captain Logan. And Robert says, Admiral Logan could be a rare pop.
Yeah, and then there could be like Admiral Logan, but like he's got like a cool hat, like it's like a little variant.
Oh, you could do a whole line of Spawn Year ones, too. You could do Captain Cogliostro and Freakadoo.
Yeah, and you can do Cap holding a bottle of Mountain Dew, Cap holding a can of Mountain Dew.
That's good. And then you could do Captain Spawn, which would just be Spawn, but would have a face that's more like the one that Pierce made.
Yep.
These are
Todd
wonderful
McFarlane
ideas.
will hunt you down.
Okay, so I looked up and saw a super chat and I panicked for 5 seconds. But it's only $2, so I have to take a shot. Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. As you have, the Infinity Gauntlet is all balanced. Well, I have a plastic Infinity Gauntlet that I bought in a Walmart aisle for my kids to play with. So,
And you have the Iron Man one, so it is all balanced. You can have one on each hand.
Yeah, that was a really fun picture that we took of Jason.
No, yeah, it was.
I found that at a thrift store for like a couple bucks. It's like a $25 toy.
So that was definitely part of the reason why they did that, right? Where it's the other hand for the Iron Man one, so that they could sell it so you can have both.
I couldn't believe it was on the other hand. I never noticed that in the movie, and Jason was like, "Dad, this one goes on the other hand," and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I couldn't even believe it.
When we first like got a look at that, I was like, "Is that like a merchandising thing? Like, did we do that literally just so we can sell them on each hand?"
That's the sense I get, so that kids could be like, "Booyah! I got two."
Yeah, because it's arbitrary, right? Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So like that feels like the type of thing that you decide, like, hey, the toy people are like, hey, like, you know, the Hulk gloves. What if you could sell them separately?
You're so right about that. Hey, did you like my quiz?
I think I still have one more question, don't I?
No, that was it. I told you that was the last question. The last question was the platforming hour
What
question.
was the? Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't give me the answer though. That's why I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Knights.
Of course, it's Knights.
Yeah, but that's not really a platformer.
I don't know what Knights is. I've seen you play it like 4 times. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, it's Knights. I have Knights right here. I have a giant Knights on my arm. And I love it.
You have a Knights and then you have a Dark Knights.
Oh.
Except the other way around, what I did.
You think anybody on the planet will get a what's that show called? Gotham Knights tattoo?
Yes. You should be the first one. You should get it on the forehead.
Hey, Gotham Knights on my... You know, it's weird that every time I get a tattoo, my wife makes a joke about me getting a tattoo on my forehead.
Yeah, because she thinks it would be really cool. You should get the main actor from Gotham Knights. You should have his face tattooed like right here.
Every time she says that, I'm like, Sarah, you shouldn't tempt me with this kind of thing. Like, obviously, I'm never gonna do it, but there's always a part of me that is like, I almost want to do it just because she keeps joking about it. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, you can get like the Dr. Manhattan. There's so many things you could do.
So many things you can do on your forehead
tattoo. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and how many superheroes have like their initial on their forehead?
Yeah, you could do A.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think Captain America is like the only one.
No. Didn't Hawkeye used to have one?
It might be like shaped as an H, but it's not as obvious as like the Captain America one, certainly.
Okay.
But it might be shaped that way because he's got like the points.
I feel like there's some Golden Age and Silver Age superheroes that have initials on their foreheads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can't. I mean,
Superman's got it with the hair where he's got like the S.
Yes, but I mean, I feel like there's masks that have it though.
Yeah,
beyond Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America's just like the most obvious one that comes to mind.
I'm starting to feel really loopy.
How many fingers am I holding?
Oh no! I should have made a rule where the same person can't have me take a shot twice.
You should have said it's closing time.
I did, but we were just referencing songs at that point.
Rats.
I feel like it's a really bad idea to take any more shots right now. But I said I'd do it. Ooh, I don't want to though. What I love is that you can't tell if I'm playing this up or if I'm serious.
Well, last time we did a show and you said that to me, we finished the call and you were like, I'm not playing it up. I really feel it.
I forgot that I said that. That's great. You know, on the new Rewind commentary show, since I'm going by myself, I've been trying to kind of practice lately, taking my time a little bit more when I'm like talking on my own and making shows. Trying not to rush myself too much, talk too fast, get ahead of myself to the point where I have to say a lot to, fill
you
time.
You should talk like the Micro Machines guy. You'll get more points out if you do it that way.
That only works if you're scripted. And what I'm trying to figure out is if I'm even capable of that, because I'm so used to my cadence just being talking real fast and then getting stuck. You know what I mean? And I feel like, again, for especially being by myself, I feel like a more kind of radio show personality sort of voice where you really take your time and you pause for emphasis, for effect. You let people like think a little bit about what you're saying. I feel like that's really smart, and I just don't know if I'm capable of it. And I don't know if I can do it and keep enough energy in my speech either. Because I'm the kind of person that can't, or I'm not very good at anyway, like singing loud without rushing a tempo. It's exactly the same thing with talking.
You got to get the Canadian voice where you start really big and then you kind of get lower as you go. That's why a lot of Canadian people are in I like news broadcasting, because it's like a really good news broadcaster voice.
I'm going to eat so much when I'm finished with this.
I'm going to save my shorts.
There's still quite a bit of this left, too. I'm surprised by that. Okay. I hope you guys have been enjoying the landmark Big Deal Freak Out 34,000 subscriber special.
With lots of trivia and tales of dead dogs.
And drinking and spilling drinks.
Oh, I didn't need to hear that.
I was just being silly.
Down the hatch. Just gotta breathe.
Okay, you shut up. I don't want to hear anything from you.
I didn't even say anything.
No, because I'm going to drink this and you're going to make your silly noises.
What noises?
No, the thing you do when I take a drink.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's this thing that you do, and you think I'm going to get surprised again. Look, you can't pull one over on me after 7 drinks where I'm super drunk now.
I think you're only a shot, 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 shot. I got a chat, but not $5.
Oh, I didn't actually read a super chat either.
No, you didn't.
$5 super chat.
Whoa. There was like clearly some of my drink on my finger when I did that, so it went flying.
Remember how you said I was going to throw up on camera?
Yeah. And then you just throw up, you don't even say anything.
I feel like that could happen now. Like, $5 super chat from Tom. Ensign Logan. Chef Medical Officer Logan. I'm just reading.
Wait, Chef Medical
That's what it says. Helmsman Logan, Super Logan. You could be the next Barbie. Oh, he's talking about with the pop figure thing. Yeah,
did he just call you sexy like Barbie?
But I don't think you could. What, you're saying I'm not?
No.
Agreed. No, you don't have to. You don't have to make up generic ones. There's just already so many variant things we've done on Geekfolution. You could have all kinds of action figures.
Yeah, Master Chief Logan, Master Chef Logan.
Master Chef Logan. Yeah, Master Chef.
He's got like a little egg.
He put another $2 super chat. He says, I can't believe I typed that with my fingers. Well, what else would you type it with? Robert,
well,
I know this goes without saying, but this is going off the rails. That, friend, is by design. Well, that's why I said $5 shots, because I knew that if we did a crazy special for hitting an arbitrary, let's face it, an arbitrary number with subscribers, that Austin would be like, oh, I sure hope Cap gets drunk again.
Well, I believe it's like the Titanic, which was an inside job. Sometimes you just have to make sure it happens.
Robert says, don't forget the Bat Bunker playset. That would be a cool playset.
Yeah. It would have so much purple lighting.
It would. There'd be these buttons you can push that would make purple accent lighting happen.
There would be a little cabinet full of little Batman bombs.
Yeah, that's great. What else would be in it? There'd be these tiny arcade machines, and there'd be a punching bag.
It's like they just released a bunch of Hercules pops. I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's an anniversary or something for Hercules.
Like the
The Disney
Disney
movie.
movie or the Okay, but when you said that, I'm like, did they ever do Hercules and Xena Pops?
I don't
Because
know.
I would really like a Xena Pop. That'd be cool.
But they did one of Hercules holding his sidekick Herculad, and he's like a little. It's like a little pop that the Hercules pop is holding. So it's like a little pop in the hand of a pop. So it could be like that.
Oh, I have a Joker that does that. I have a Joker that's got a tiny Batman pop he's holding. So it's funny. I had to buy the Joker pop because it's technically a Batman pop because he's holding a Batman pop.
Well, that's what I want with the Hercules one because I just want a Herculad pop, but I don't really want a Hercules one. So I'm like, I might just get it and then pull him off.
Jareth Gearhart says, I just got here. What did I miss?
Everything.
This is what you missed.
Everything.
Robert Wild, speaking of drunk, when are you guys going to do the Pirates of the Caribbean 3 commentary? We don't have a plan for exactly when that's happening, but we definitely will do it.
Yeah, it's funny. The other day I was talking to Noah in our Discord, and I was like, "Oh, Cap and I should try to do 4 for when Little Mermaid comes out," because I thought it was like way farther down the line than it actually is.
What is that? Sorry, what does that do with Little Mermaid?
It's the same director, and they both have mermaids.
There you go.
So I was like, that would be like a fun little thing to do, and then I was like, "Oh, Little Mermaid comes out in like 3 weeks. Okay, never mind."
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
And I'm not watching that, by the way.
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
I don't.
Oh, actually, I can't say that.
I don't want to see that.
I can't say.
Are you gonna go?
Not in
No.
the theater. I might watch it. Actually, sorry, I won't watch the movie, but I am very eagerly anticipating clips to come online so that I can watch a realistic crab sing
Under the sea. Oh, there is a Xena Pop. Thanks, Senior Sticks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never saw this. She looks cool. I was a Xena fan when that was on.
Yeah, I've never seen any of those shows.
They're very cheesy,
Mhm.
and I love them. So, have I told you the
That's
stream?
a Raimi produced thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And Ted Raimi is a recurring character in it. He's Joxer. Joxer the Mighty. It's Ted Raimi.
Well, and Xena's the main villain of the Evil Dead TV show, Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Yeah, yeah. They're all friends.
Which is funny because she said that she watched the original one and walked out of the theater because she was like so grossed out by it.
That's great. I love Lucy Lawless, man. But anyway,
Wait, you were about to tell a story.
what was I talking about? No, she always seemed like a really cool lady, and I never met her at a con. And I always wanted to go to a con where she was. I have met Kevin Sorbo at a con actually, but not her. What was I talking about? Oh, Jason has been begging me to do this very bizarre mini marathon idea he's had for months. Austin, have we talked about this?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I ever brought it up on the channel. I don't know if he wanted this to be public, but it's going to be buried in this.
He's gonna be so embarrassed
No, he won't be embarrassed. He wants to do it, but if we do it, it'll still be a surprise to most people. Jason wants us to do a stream where he picked a show and I picked the show. And the shows, so we were talking about this for a while, and I was like, okay, you pick a show, you pick the show, and I picked the show. And I was like, this would be insane for us to do together. He wants to do a 3-part episode of Pokemon, and I would pick a couple of Zeta episodes. So every now and again,
told me about this.
Every now and again, he goes, "Dad, when are we doing the Xena Pokemon stream?" And it's been a thing. Like
you should call it Xenachu.
He really wants us to do that.
Xenachu, the electric female warrior Pokemon.
Right. That was her nickname. It just rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So,
go on, Xenachu. Go out and fight Hercules.
So, the funky way I'm feeling right now and how much I'm needing food, I'm gonna say we're probably gonna call it here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
We're already past 2 hours, which is shocking.
That is crazy. I didn't even, it doesn't feel like that at all.
Have you had a good time, Austin?
No.
Oh.
You gave me that quiz. And it embarrassed me.
Hey, it gave us a thing to do.
Look how we did a thing.
Are you really upset with me because I made you a quiz?
No, I'm just joking. No, it was fun.
Because, that's 45 minutes I'm never going to get back. That was the most guilt-trippy possible response, right?
What's that? I
spent 45 minutes of my life making that quiz for you.
No, if somebody told me that, like, in a serious way, I'd laugh at them. I spent 45 minutes of my life. Okay.
All right, that was your choice, you dumb fish.
It was either that or sit and play Angry Birds, so...
Tom Atkins says that my drunkenness is contagious. Does that mean that you're drunk now, or did I make Austin drunk?
A little bit both.
Also, I'm not drunk. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I'm not drunk. I can say all my ABCs.
Last call for this stuff, because I shouldn't have any more, but it's very tasty.
Gosh darn it.
I talk like that just to freak Austin out. It's fun. Hey, Austin.
Yeah.
It's very tasty.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just doing Two-Face from the animated series.
I'm Big Bad Harv. Big Bad Harv ASMR.
I want to see that channel.
Make a channel called Big Bad Harv ASMR. I'm Big Bad Harv.
I don't want ASMR. I want, like, okay. There's like the Shrek ASMR video where it's supposed to be like you're in bed with Shrek and he's like romantically talking to you. I want Two-Face doing that.
Hey, baby.
You had a hard day at work today. And then...
Why don't you put down your magazine?
Tell me about your day. I'll listen. Somebody make this, please.
Please? I feel like your voice would get thrown out in like 3 minutes, though.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be fine. Just drink water. Don't drink Malibu rum.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. I always get those confused.
Yeah, I do too, where it's like, man, is this water? Like, why is there Malibu rum coming out of my tap?
I feel like the obvious definitive thing to have him say in that scenario is, do you want to snuggle? Let's flip a coin. It's the obvious thing to say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's snuggle for 2 minutes.
I got you for 2 minutes.
2 minutes of snuggle.
Of playtime.
Oh my god, there's a line in that scene that I used to quote wrong. I would like I quoted it wrong for like 3 years before I realized that's not actually what he was saying. And I'm trying to remember what line it was. It might be the 3 minutes thing.
Oh, not Big Bad Harv, but Bonesaw?
No, with Bonesaw.
I was like, what Big Bad Harv thing did you not understand?
No, it was the Bonesaw thing, because I used to quote the Bonesaw thing constantly in high school. To the point
Harv is ready.
To the point where in my communications class in grade 12, we had to make a commercial for something, and I was like, okay, so the teacher was like, here is an example, and it was like an Axe body spray commercial. It was like the old ones where it's like they spray it and then all the girls are like they go after the dude that sprayed it.
Because that's what real life is like.
Okay, genuinely as a kid, I was scared of that as an idea, though. But but I was like, okay, I'm gonna take that idea where it's like you just have something and then like it makes women attracted to you. But my commercial is gonna be about wearing a pylon on your head, where you wear a pylon on your head and suddenly women think you're super attractive. And I was like, and my spokesperson's gonna be Macho Man Randy Savage just because of the Bonesaw thing. And I had to explain it to the teacher because the teacher had to he had to approve of it. He had to pitch it, and then he'd have to be like, yeah, okay, like go ahead, go make that. I pitched it to the teacher, and he was like, what the hell are you saying? Like, I don't even understand what you're talking about.
Look, you just need to watch the scene from Spider-Man, okay?
And I was like, look, okay, like, you remember Axe? Like, he puts the pylon in his head, and then he's attractive. And the teacher's like, I don't understand. And your commercial's too simple. And I'm like, okay, what if it also cures diabetes? And he was just like, I don't know. I don't care. Leave me alone. That's fine. Go make it.
If your commercial is too simple, how do you not understand it? Tom, $2 super chat, 3 minutes. I don't know if I want to read this. I don't.
Okay, here.
Go ahead.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of foreplay with my big bad hive.
Thanks for reading that for me.
Say it.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, because it's like a sexual. And
yeah. That's why he's doing. That's why I didn't want to read it.
I'm too innocent. I didn't catch it.
Okay, so I've had 7 shots and most of this beer, and I got that.
Well, yeah,
but not you.
Because you have more of like a sexual brain when you're on alcohol, and I'm a little child, so
I feel like that's very judgmental.
It was meant to be. So
okay. So you think you understand me enough to say that I have more of a sexual brain when I'm when I've been drinking.
Yeah, that's everybody. Yeah,
agreed. Oh, that's everybody.
Yeah.
So not just me. I thought this was like psychoanalysis. Where it's like, no. Did you know that usually you're just a friggin' Quaker, but when you've been drinking, you have a sexual brain.
You turn into a real sex pest when you've had 6 shots.
Boy, if I had a nickel for every time Austin called me a Quaker,
you still wouldn't have one.
Wouldn't have any nickels.
Because I haven't said it yet.
That was the joke, and jokes are always funnier when you explain them.
Exactly.
I've been drinking enough that my fingers don't quite fit together when I'm doing this. Like, it's like, can I even? Yeah, it's close.
Look at my hands.
I think the police should add that as a test for drunk driving.
If you can
can you put your fingers together? It's like most normal people aren't doing this anyway.
Yeah, but then you'll have that one loser that's just like, I can't do it normally, let alone drunk.
That's my new favorite loser voice.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, because that's like the people where they're like, I can't, do the backwards alphabet, or I can't walk in a straight line.
I can't drive 55.
I'm trying to drive 88 miles an hour.
88 miles an hour.
Doc, you can't just walk. Yeah, see, now it's mixing.
Is it hot? No, you mook. It's obviously cold. It's air cold.
That should be a thing in your your movie, is that there's a beer commercial that's like, is it hot? No, it's ice cold.
Oh, that's great. Although I have to be honest with you, I already have too many Back to the Future references as it is.
Rats.
There is quite a bit of Back to the Future in that script.
That's okay. You can put it in the squeakquel. It's okay.
The squeakquel?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm making.
Chipmunks too, the squeakquel.
So do you just Was that an accident where like
Oh no, that was
you make fun of
100%
chipmunks so much that you don't even remember what the word sequel is? It just turns into squeakquel every time?
Oh no, that was 100% intentional.
Is that like if you were, a little older and every time you tried to say part 2, you actually said part 2 because of hot shots?
No, it's even worse because every time I try to say part 2, I end up saying part time.
Part time.
And they're like, what?
Part time.
Yeah,
Part time.
Did you hear that the new title for the next Batman is The Batman Part Time? It's really confusing.
Yeah. I really like John Wick Part 3 Parabellum.
Well, that one I mispronounced so long that the other day I mispronounced it to you by accident.
Oh, you did? I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I have like a joke on the Discord where I always refer to it as John Wick Parabellum.
Parabellum.
I'm so used to saying it that we were talking, and I said that unironically.
It's like I've always said, if you rehearse it wrong at the dress rehearsal, you're gonna do it wrong on opening night, Austin.
And as I always say, but that's part of the joke.
I thought you were, as I always say, F you, Captain Logan.
And Jon Snow.
F you, Jon Snow. No one knows what we're talking about now.
No.
This is just
that
turned
makes
into
it funnier.
After Dark if it was censored.
You see, Cap, the new kids, whatever they're called, Zoomers, they like jokes that don't make sense.
The Zoomers on the block?
Mm-hmm. The new Zoomers on the block, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. They like jokes that don't make sense and are just random, so...
They do. There's this really awkward humor that's gotten super popular on YouTube and TikTok and whatever that I don't understand, and I don't know if I will ever understand.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just... I don't even know how to explain it, especially after drinking too much. But the idea is like, I'm saying the most outlandish, stupidest, like nobody could ever possibly believe this nonsense that I'm spewing right now, and clearly it must be a joke, but you live in a world where people say all kinds of dumb things that they really believe, and it just gets really awkward. It's like it's supposed to be some sort of meta humor, but sometimes I'm not sure if what's happening isn't a person actually believing what they're saying when they first say it, and then when people call them out, they go, "No, it's a joke."
Do you have an example?
Yeah, so... Well, I don't know if I have an example that won't take 5 minutes to explain.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair if it's too long.
But like, I'll try to say this as fast as I can. But there's this company that sells retro video game stuff called DK Oldies that's been called out constantly online. And I've talked about it on the channel a little bit. I've been called out for the last couple months where YouTubers have been buying their products and reviewing them and showing how they're kind of scammy. And how
I've heard of this. Yeah.
They're claiming their stuff is refurbished, but they're not actually doing anything to them. And they're starting to finally, because it looks like they've got a lawsuit coming after them. And there's this kid that keeps making these videos where he's taking up for them and talking about how great they are and how everybody that's making videos about them is like it's all a conspiracy, and the people that are making videos about them are pretending like they're getting these horrible things in boxes and they're like putting dust in the systems and that kind of thing. And clearly the kid is supposed to be, just trolling, but like the first couple of videos he seemed like just kind of an idiot. But maybe he's not. Maybe like the whole thing is just this, silly con game is doing. I don't understand that kind of humor. Like, there's this trolling that goes so far in like a 3D, like a 5D chess sort of place, Austin.
Well, that's the issue, Cap.
You know what I'm talking about, though? And I feel like
that's like an old school YouTube thing where like You get that a lot, like early on, where it'd be
No, but
like,
there's this brand of it that is unique to this new generation.
yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
The issue is that you're playing the game of life, and they're playing 8D underwater backgammon, so they're like way ahead of you in terms of games. So,
but the problem with it is that they think it's clear, but it's just awkward.
but awkward is funny.
You know, I think the problem is that I'm having this conversation with you, and you are somewhere in the middle of this. Like, there's a part of you that is exactly this kind of humor, though, and I wasn't thinking about that, and I feel like a jerk because I kind of called you out on accident.
Yeah, Cap's just like, there's a part of you that I really don't like.
Yeah. Robert says, this will be remembered as the episode where Cap called the kid an idiot. Well, when I say kid, I mean he's like 20 or something. But when you're 30, when you're 38, 39, 20-year-olds are kids.
Yeah. See, I go around and I call 50-year-olds kids. I'm like, yo, what's up, kid?
Well, that's just stupid.
But that's the part of me that you think is an idiot. So.
Exactly.
Did you hear about...
I was just kidding.
Speaking of TikTok things, did you hear about the Russos with the Hercules movie?
What? No.
Because they're producing the Disney live-action remake.
Oh, you told me about this, but I didn't realize they were doing that until you said it, yeah.
And they said that the music... because it's still going to be a musical, but they said that the music's going to be inspired by TikToks. What?
I don't care. I wasn't going to watch that anyway.
I mean, I won't either, but it's just like, why, Russos? Why?
Jared says, it sounds like Cap is breaking up with Austin. Oh, no, that'll never happen.
A little bit, yeah.
No, that'll never happen.
The next show is going to be the reunion where he's going to stand outside my balcony with a boombox.
With a boombox? And Colossus?
Yeah.
No, Austin's
I wasn't thinking of that.
Austin's wearing my ring, man.
What?
He can't break up with me.
We're married? I ain't got no ring on this.
We're at least engaged. It's invisible. It's an invisible ring.
Damn, I got branded.
Oh, no! I take back that whole joke. I take it back. Robert, wow, what was your favorite episode of Geekfolution, Billy? I like the one where Cap talked about awkward modern comedy for a long time. Was it that long? Am I so inebriated right now that was
Rob's
like
just young, so it's
35 minutes, but I thought it was 4?
Time just took longer when you're younger.
Keeps on slipping. We did that already.
Yeah, we already did that.
We already did that. You know, the first group I ever saw in concert was the Steve Miller Band. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. My wife hates the Steve Miller Band.
Is she a joker or a smoker or a midnight choker?
She hates that song is part of it, but so for a long time I never understood what my wife's beef was with the Steve Miller Band. I was like, I mean, you know, it's classic arena rock. I don't know what your deal is with it, like all this other stuff. And she never really explained it. She's just like, obviously, that guy can't write songs. And I'm like, it's not obvious. A lot of people bought his records. I don't know what you're talking about. Which doesn't obviously prove anything. But I grew up with Steve Miller. I didn't understand what she was talking about. I like some of his songs. And then, and you know what I'm going to say, right, Austin? Then Weird Al releases his tracks of covers that he did in concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them starts with him beginning to play a Steve Miller song, and the lyrics are so stupid he can't finish the song, and he just goes on to a different song. And finally I looked at my wife and I went, because it was it was the song where he rhymes Texas with what the fax is. And I looked at my wife and I went, I understand now. It all became clear, and I went, I get why you don't like Steve Miller. And you know what? I can't hardly listen to Steve Miller anymore. Weird Al and my wife ruined him over 15 years.
You should send Weird Al a letter that's like, thank you, Weird Al. You saved my marriage.
You saved my marriage. Now I understand my wife a little bit more. Robert, while my wife hates the Steve Miller Band should be the name for Cap's autobiography.
That should just be the name of a band.
It should.
Yeah.
Tom Atkins, hashtag lost Ian. What?
Well, I think it's supposed to be like lost in, like he's making a pun off my name, maybe.
Loston. Oh, Austin. You're so Loston.
Yeah,
Austin Loston.
you're stuck in Boston. That's what the
Jareth
song-
Gearhart, what was the best concert experience, Cap? So I've seen They Might Be Giants like 11 or 12 times. And the Flood show was one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. But, and I'm a huge TBG fan, so that's near and dear to me. So beyond that bias, the Weird Al, and I've seen Weird Al 4 times. His kind of pseudo unplugged tour, the Vanity Tour, was astounding. And the most amazing thing about that tour was, so he was playing mostly not parodies, and it was called the Vanity Tour because he was playing all of his original stuff and stuff he didn't think people would care about as much in concert. And of course, diehard fans were really excited to get to hear some of that in concert because he doesn't usually get to play very much of it. He'd do like medleys and stuff, but he wouldn't play very much of it. And then you get to the end of that concert, and he saved the hardest stuff vocally for the very end. And I didn't realize the kind of pipes Weird Al had until I saw that. Like, that was nuts. In Austin, this was after he did Albuquerque in the middle of the show. And that blew my friggin' mind because he used to always, he famously, he would talk about this. He always saved Albuquerque for the very end of the show because he would throw his voice out so much he couldn't sing anything else after it. He did this vocally intensive, much harder stuff at the end of the show after he did Albuquerque at exactly the midpoint. What the heck? That was amazing. But then...
That was a Jason moment. What the heck?
But then he freaking trumps it when I see him a year later and he does a tour with like a 40-piece orchestra. And I got to hear Don't Download This Song with this huge orchestra.
Ooh, that would have been awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah. My wife got to see it, and that's my wife's favorite song, and that was a big deal. But it's
you actually got good taste in music, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say the absolute best concert experience I've had because I've seen several that kind of all tie. I got to see Huey Lewis just a couple of years before his ear condition and he can't sing anymore, which is super sad.
I actually didn't know that. I know your story about going to that concert. I didn't know that he had like an ear thing and can't sing.
Yeah, he doesn't tour anymore. It's really sad. And he thinks eventually he's going to get over it and he'll be able to tour again. And I hope that happens, of course. But
we'll hear about it in the news.
Right. And the news.
Mm.
But he played a mostly blues concert with his standards, with his big hits mixed in, and it's the only time I've ever been to a concert where somebody wanted to play mostly their stuff off their new album, and I didn't think it was lame. That was the best stuff. There's all these blues tracks I'd never heard before, because it wasn't the major standards that everybody knows. He was trying to bring in stuff that was really great that's kind of like been buried and lost to time, and it was just wonderful. And I've listened to that album since then. And it's just fantastic. And everybody should go listen to that. And then another one that I'll throw out real quick is, and this is I don't want to say polarizing, but like some people really like this guy and some people don't. But I really like Peter Frampton. I always have. And I went to a show with my dad because he really wanted me to come with him. He was like, Dad, he was like, Jay, would you go with me to the
Peter Frampton
Cheap Trick show? And I went, Cheap Trick is a glorified cover band, Dad.
Cheap Trick is a cheap trick.
I don't want to go to Cheap. My dad loves Cheap Trick. I've never understood why. And he, by the way, for people that don't know, my real name is James. Everybody's always called me Jay since I was a kid. And
your name is Cap.
Yeah, I know, but I'm drunk, so I forgot that. So anyway, he goes, would you go with me to Cheap Trick? And I was like, okay. So I went to Cheap Trick. And I didn't realize Frampton was playing with Cheap Trick. So the first half of the concert, I'm like, this is whatever. It's Cheap Trick. And my dad's all into it and excited. And I'm finding my dad kind of lame.
And then you guys flip.
And then we completely flip. Where Dad's like, Dad doesn't care about Frampton at all. And I'm like, Frampton is playing, I've mentioned this before, but Frampton is playing a completely instrumental with no vocals version of Black Hole Sun and just tearing it the heck up. And then the talking guitar comes into the middle and starts doing the vocal part with Black Hole Sun. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in a concert. We get to the end of it, my dad goes, what was that song? I'm like, you don't know Black Hole Sun?
So your dad
Won't you come?
Your dad just really doesn't love his way, I guess.
I guess not, man. But, like, where is he going without ever knowing the way? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you know the way? I don't know. Isn't that what we all ask ourselves?
Yeah, anyone could tell that the road he walked on was paved with gold.
He's going down the only road he's ever known.
We're mixing two songs, right? Tom Chill Super Chat. I like his Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon's great.
I read that in like a racist Jamaican voice in my head. I was like, oh, and then I didn't realize what he was saying. I was like,
no, he's talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know about Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was on the... Wasn't that on the Mewtwo soundtrack?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was.
My greatest concert experience is I went with my dad to see... I took him for his birthday to see Guns N' Roses because it was his favorite band growing up. And we were like standing... We're like in the... Not like the front row, but like really close. Like we were really close to the stage. And I was like, oh, there's these two women in front of us, and they're clearly like a mother and daughter. Like, that's nice. Like, I'm here with my dad. That's cool. And then halfway through the show, they started making out, and I was like, oh, I guess they weren't related.
That was the best concert you went to because something's wrong with your brain.
Yeah. That and I went with my cousin to see, it was like a dual show. It was... Alice Cooper first, and then Motley Crue, and
my dad really likes Alice Cooper. I always wanted to see him actually.
Alice Cooper is so cool in concert.
I've always heard that.
Yeah, he's so awesome. But so I'd love to just do like a straight Alice Cooper show.
Yeah.
But so there was a couple in front of us. And the dude was like super drunk, like when we showed up, like he was already like blackout wasted, and he was like, "My girlfriend loves Motley Crue, and when they come out, she's gonna go crazy." And just like throughout the show, he would keep doing that, like before they showed up, and then she never got crazy. but also.
That's amazing.
Before the show, we were just kind of chatting right before like any music started playing, and he was like, you know, like, hey, like, how are you guys doing? Like, you guys are pretty young. And I was like, yeah, I'm turning 18 in like a month. Like, this was like part of my 18th birthday gift. And he's like, that's awesome. And then Alice Cooper started playing 18 later. And he turned to me and he was like, this song is for you. He's playing it for you.
I'm pretty sure that's just a song he plays.
No, it's for me.
That was really funny.
And then he was like, and then my wife's gonna get crazy. When Motley Crue shows up.
One more I gotta mention real quick, because this is usually my go-to, but I've been drinking, so I forgot about this part. I've seen REO Speedwagon 2 or 3 times, I can't remember.
That would be a cool show.
I grew up with them real hard. That was my dad's favorite band. So my parents split up when I was 6, and my mom always listened to Styx, and my dad always listened to REO Speedwagon. And Mom listened to REO Speedwagon too, but I feel like each of them kind of sees the other band as like their ex's band. You know what I mean? Like, Dad doesn't listen to Styx anymore.
When he would play it, and then she would just take it on the run, like she just didn't want to hear it right then.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of something clever, but I've been drinking. So anyway, you know, and she'd love to say I don't want to lose you, but it's a little too late at this point. So my mom took me to REO Speedwagon the first time I saw them, and then my dad took me the second time. So that was interesting. And the second time I saw them, second or third time, I can't remember, was at a state fair. I think it was the Arkansas State Fair, and I got to see REO Speedwagon play Riding the Storm Out in a storm. Like, it was
That's
like
pretty awesome.
It's a thunderstorm. There's the rain coming down, and they stayed out. They didn't get under a tarp or anything, and they said like if you guys will stay out here with this insane intense amount of rain coming down, we will too. And they were super classy about it. That was one of the neatest things I've ever seen. And they always finish the show with Riding the Storm Out, and it was still raining that hard, and I got to see Riding the Storm Out in the rain. That was one of the coolest things ever.
The lead singer was like, "Look, guys, when it starts raining, we're gonna get crazy."
We're gonna get crazy.
I just realized
my girlfriend, when I come out, my girlfriend's gonna go crazy.
I just realized both of my concert stories were just weird people in front of me.
Yeah, you didn't say anything about the
weird.
actual concert.
No, I don't know. Every concert I've been to has been really cool. The Alice Cooper Motley Crue one was like a weird angle where it was like I was in like a corner seat and I had to like look down at them like that. It's like that was unfortunate, but it was a cool show. I don't know. I like every concert I've been to. The first concert though I ever went to was
I don't think I've ever been to anything that was just super disappointing.
that sucked.
What's that?
So the first concert I ever went to was my mom took me to Kelly Clarkson, and that sucked.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you might not like something that's just music you don't like in the first place.
Yeah. Well, and then she was really trying to get me to go see Mariah Carey. I was like, I don't know, like 8. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And I was into wrestling, and she was like, John Cena, because his rap album came out as my first album. She was like, John Cena's opening for her, which was a lie to get me to go.
Oh, no.
And I was like, nah, I'm not going, Mom. And I was super into Bon Jovi at the time. And then she got tickets to see Bon Jovi and didn't take me, and I was so mad. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, yeah, no, I get why you didn't take an 8-year-old to a rock show.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was very annoyed.
Yeah, I'm irritated that I can't take Jason to TMBG because they don't play a lot of kid shows anymore, and most of the places they play are bars and clubs that are, you gotta be 21 to get in, or at least 18. And just before Jason was born, Sarah and I went to 2 kid shows in Kansas City in a row, and we're like at this big like kids festival called Jiggle Jam, and we were like, why aren't our kids born yet?
Why aren't our 5 kids born yet? Captain Logan, my husband, who I've loved for many years. That's unfortunate.
Austin, I'm gonna have to get going here, man.
Yeah. My last concert thing though is my dad told me he went to see Blink-182 and there was kids next to him, and then they started playing porn on the screen, and the family was like, let's get out of here.
Oh no.
That's why you don't take kids to a rock show.
On the other hand, they shouldn't have let them in if there was going to be that kind of content.
You would think so, yeah. Absolutely. Because for the most part with stuff like that, it's more of like the environment. Like I went with my cousin to see AC/DC, and there was just like the smell of pot like everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of that stuff.
No, you're right. That's a problem. And I've been to shows like that, and went to shows like that when I was in high school. But
yeah, and you get like the women that like go topless when the camera goes on them and stuff like that. We were like, I probably don't want to bring my kids to this environment.
I've never experienced that, but I
was only at AC/DC, and it happened twice, and it was only during You Shook Me All Night Long. And the first time it was like the woman was like, and my cousin and I, because I'm like 18 and he's 20, we were like, yeah, this is awesome. And then the next woman does it, and it was super awkward because she didn't realize the camera was on her, and she like fell over when she did it. And it was like, yeah, it's even more awesome. She fell over.
I'm glad to know you've always been so mature about things. That's good.
Well, see, I think falling over is funnier than boobs.
On that note, we're going to finish up here. Everybody, thanks so very much for being here, whether you're watching live or after the fact, for the landmark Big Deal Freak Out 34,000 subscriber spectacular. I really wanted to just keep adding adjectives.
But you're too drunk to think of them.
Yeah, seriously. Austin, thanks for joining me at kind of last minute for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry to make you sweat about Geekfolution questions.
It's getting all hot and bothered.
Is this the most After Dark thing we've ever done that wasn't After Dark? Because I think it was maybe
next to that Christmas show. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, was this tame compared to the Christmas show, or was it about there?
I don't know.
I think that went a little bit nuttier in places.
Probably.
I definitely drank more on that show.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we were
longer too.
Drunker earlier in that show.
I was drunker
earlier.
I just heard drunker
earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
And that'll be the name of your autobiography.
God, I hope so. Cap, are you announcing our show next week? Or are you waiting for later?
No, we can go ahead and... To be honest with you, the only reason I hadn't announced it yet is I didn't want to confuse anybody yesterday by saying Friday.
No, that's what I figured.
You know, so I was waiting until like the day after. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Next week we are doing a double feature commentary on Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
It'll be a watch party, so we're not preparing for it. I want to make sure there's a big distinction between the commentaries I'm doing on Mondays and the Friday things when we do movie commentaries for that. That'll be watch parties. We haven't watched it in a while. We're kind of checking back in with it.
I will probably watch it beforehand, but just because I want to.
Oh, well, you totally can.
I've been fighting with myself for like a month now to not rewatch them because I know I'm going to end up wanting to watch them closer to 3. So I'm like, I got to hold out as long as I can.
Robert says, this was at least as good as the Lala Crocodile commentary. I'm glad the standards were that high.
Well, and then it appeared it twice. Like, he thought it was such a good statement he had to say it twice.
I honestly feel like that commentary is one of the worst things I've done in a long time. I just want to go on record and say that. I thought my performance there was not so great.
I don't remember much about it. I remember thinking that the
technical issues
funnier
all through it.
Oh yeah, and my laptop died in the last like 10 minutes.
It was made of busted.
Yeah. It definitely didn't go as well as the Clifford show. But...
No. There were some fun things in it, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I shouldn't have read the books right beforehand. That was dumb.
And I should have plugged my laptop in so that it didn't die 10 minutes before the end.
My favorite thing, though, was the Smallville stream where you had a cell phone that was at 1% battery for like 45 minutes.
I don't know how it lasted that long. That was crazy.
I couldn't figure it out. I was like, you should have been dead by now, but you weren't. You were still with us.
Yeah, and then I came back at the end and it was still at like 1%, just because like I hadn't charged it that day either. And then it did die in the middle of the show.
Hey, real quick, I want to thank all the super chatters for getting me this drunk. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. I will be back hopefully on Sunday with a double feature biopic stream with Jason. We're going to talk about Air and Tetris if we get those watched this weekend. And
that's double features.
I'll let you guys know if that ends up not happening, but that's the plan at the moment. And then I'm going to do the 89 commentary for the Superhero Rewind Commentary Project. That's the first of those I'm going to be doing Monday night. The 13th time I'm going to do a commentary in 89. I'll try to bring up at least something I've never talked about in a commentary before, but it'll be a little bit more straight-laced and focused than other 89 commentaries, because most of the time now I just show up and go, let's kind of avoid even talking too much about the movie. We've said so much about this movie. So this time we're going to be back to actually talking about the movie. Look forward
to that. Well, now it's
that.
13, so it's an unlucky number.
No, it'll be great, I'm sure. I'm going to do my level best to make it worth listening to.
Yeah, it'll go well. It being the first episode of a new show will counteract the 13.
Boy, I sure hope so. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here. I was Captain Logan. This was Austin, the Day Ghost.
Shot, 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 shot.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm sorry.
Bye, everybody. way better. Bye. Wait, why am I showing the Captain Logan show?
Gosh darn it, Cap.
It's
You boob.
It's not the Captain Logan show. Okay, bye.